You can do whatever you want. You can have really relaxed, slow-paced stuff where you can take it easy. Or you could be on the edge.
Dan, we really should be writing them down.
We
did have the pull up earlier though, and I wasn't able to reference it right away because I just love hearing you all talk about this stuff. But I do think that Nico Ghost Jump was #1. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
there you go. And then also I know there was Life Slide and a bunch of other incredibly cute ones that I was just like, oh my gosh, indie games, just so much fun. But okay, favorites. Should we go down the line here? Damon, what you picking? I see the wheels turning.
I mean, they were coming fast and furiously.
Yeah.
I know people like Fallen Aces. I got to give a shout out to Toy Soldiers HD. I reviewed the original Toy Soldiers for IGN way back in the day, and that's like a tower defense game that you're gonna take the action right down to the ground. It's built in 3D space, so it's really cool to see that game making a comeback.
Neko, I already mentioned Neko Ghost Jump, but I do want to shout out Tunguska, I forgot the name.
Tunguska.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, I really messed that one up. But yeah, the top-down shooter. That looks interesting. I'm very interested in that.
Larcenauts, let's go. Let's compete in VR. I'm down for it.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I think I'd pick Tunguska as well, but Nico is very close behind, runner-up. Well, so many great indie titles. Let's see what GB and Greg thought of the indie games that we saw today. Hi, guys. I know y'all love the Nico game. I don't even need to ask, right?
Of course we did, Jackie, but it didn't make my top 3. Golden Boy, what do you have over there? What stood out to you from that indie presentation? 2021.
A lot. So I'm actually newly appointed member of the VR community.
Oh, welcome.
You know, so yeah, so Larcenauts was awesome. I liked it a lot. Big shout out to my boy BMF, who covers a lot of the VR stuff as well as Thrill Seeker. Big fan of those guys, and I always love checking out their content. Keeps me up to date on all things VR.
Of course.
Then the other one, Fallen Aces, man.
Yeah, Fallen Aces made my list for sure. That was a dope
Literally
trailer.
saw that and I was like, oh, I'm 100% playing this on stream. Like, this is happening because it looks so dang good. And then I would probably go with Tunguska. Another shooter.
And basically he pitched it as a shmup for dads. Like if you it's couch co-op, get in there with your kid, you're piloting, you know, it was a little dog that caught my eye, but you can be a little cat.
Okay.
It's this colorful game that you go through and you're shooting things, but you're not shooting things.
Yeah,
right? You're able to explore that way. And then for me, to echo what people said over there, Extra Galactica, right?
Stylized. I mean, you do anything that's in a cyberpunk style world, and I'm literally there. I'm all about it. Great visuals. I feel like that is, again, you know, and everyone's going to look at me like, oh, there's a lot of like pixel art game stuff, but you think about what people have been able to create, Greg, in these universes, in this style of artwork. It is gorgeous. And, you know, because Fallen Ace is also bringing back the stylized cel-shaded approach, which was something that I fell in love with when I first feast my eyes on Jet Grind Radio. So there is really a lot of quality here, and this was awesome. Some great games I'm really looking forward to trying.
Me too, ladies and gentlemen. What were your favorites? Let us know. Hashtag E3 2021 so you can get up on the big screen. But when E3 2021 returns, we'll have the latest from Freedom Games, Capcom, and more. Take a breath and hold on. We'll be back after this.
Everybody loves watching a speedrun of their favorite game, but what if you got a chance to peek into the mind of the developers behind those games as they watch their hard work get completely destroyed right in front of them?
What is happening right now?
That's exactly what happens on every episode of Devs React to Speedruns. We invite you to ride along with the developers as they watch, react, and enjoy some of the craziest gameplay by the most skilled speedrunners on the planet. Tune in every Saturday for a brand new episode.
If you're not following IGN on social media, what are you waiting for? We're constantly updating our feeds to bring you the latest news, gameplay, custom original content, the best user-generated videos and art, memes, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation throughout the year. Follow IGN on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Snapchat.
There's definitely some kind of vibe that has built up over the years that, like, it's okay to be mean in a game. And I think that's got to change.
We've all had bad days. We all get rolled because it's the same, like, 12-year-old cranking 90s on us in the Fortnite lobby, and we can't build as quick, and he just builds a Taj Mahal and then just, you know, drops down on you and you're angry. I get it, but
I don't think we should all be okay with just accepting, like, oh, this is how people talk on this video game. Like, that is not okay.
There's a difference between conflict and dialogue. When you're having a conversation, you don't have to agree. And when it's becoming something that's toxic, right, there's no respect.
it's a social contract you enter into as a human when you walk out your front door. That is that you will act with decency. And it follows that this would also be imposed online.
And it's easier to just say, oh, mute your mic or don't say anything, but no, do better.
We just shouldn't foster an environment where saying something bad is okay. It should never be okay. It should never be on the receiver to grow thicker skin.
Welcome to Raid Shadow Legends. If you're wondering just what you're getting into, Raid Shadow Legends is a free-to-play game for your PC or Mac running on the Plarium Play platform. Raid isn't just any game, it's one of the world's most popular turn-based fantasy role-playing games, or RPGs for short. You'll collect awesome champions, train them to fight in teams, and send them into battle against bad guys, evil monsters, and rival players. But it's so much more than that. With over 400 different champions to collect and experiment with, millions of players, and dozens of different challenges and play modes, Raid is thousands of hours of exploration, competition, and tactical gameplay, all with drop-dead, gorgeous art and animation. Sounds like a lot to take in? Don't worry. It's easy to pick up. There's a great community to help you out, and best of all, it's free. And it all starts with Plarium Play. Right, so let's talk about Plarium Play. Plarium Play is our official downloader. It allows you to run Raid Shadow Legends and other Plarium games as native applications right here on your Mac or PC. So what's that mean? It means you can play Raid with amazing graphics and butter-smooth performance. It'll automatically update the game for you and connect you with other players in chat. If you're feeling fancy, it also lets you customize your game's graphics, performance, and even sync automatically with Raid on your mobile device. Plarium Play doesn't install malware or third-party software onto your computer. It does not sell your information to third parties. It does not sign you up to mailing lists or spam emails from other companies. Yeah, we just don't do that. Okay, the first step is registering a new player account. Go ahead and choose a username and password and enter your email address. If you're already a mobile player, click Login and use the email address and password you already entered in your mobile device. When you're done, download the Plarium Play installer file by clicking Download. Once the download finishes, just run the file, follow the prompts, and then just kick back while the installer does its thing. Great, now you've got Plarium Play. Just one step left. Click Install under the Raid banner and wait for the game to update. This should only take a few minutes. And bam, you did it. Raid is up and running. You're ready to start playing. Now press play, get your first taste of combat, and choose your first champion. If you need help in the game, there are some great player guides on the Raid Shadow Legends YouTube channel, the official Discord server, our forum, Reddit, and more. Good luck, and we'll see you in the arena.
You're not a dish. You're a man. Most name brand bars and body washes you rub on your skin are classified by the FDA as synthetic detergent. It's not even real soap. Stop marinating your man meat in unholy ingredients that are harmful to your well-being, body, and sperm count. Start treating your body to the natural, nourishing, lathery goodness of Dr. Squatch soap. Get ready to step out of the shower feeling alive.
That smells really good. It smells like my guy's cologne.
Okay.
It smells really good, yeah.
Smells
really
good?
sexy. Oh, that smells really good. I would use it, but like if a guy smelled like that too, I'd be like, ugh. If my man was wearing this, I would be all over him.
It's natural. It's kind of like being in a forest.
I would use this on myself.
Way better than like the regular store-bought soap.
I'm talking about natural, nourishing, cold-pressed, hand-cut soap for men. So go to drsquatch.com to feel, smell, and shower like this every day. Our soap is handmade here in America, using a process that's been perfected over thousands of years. It's perfect. Big Soap cuts corners and strips out all the sudsy goodness in order to make production cheaper. First, I'm going to have you read our competitors and just go ahead and give that a shot.
Hydrogenated tallow acid, pentaerythritol,
Pentasodium, pentatate.
Your poor balls. All dry, empty, and sad. But not Dr. Squatch. Now go ahead and read Dr. Squatch's all-natural ingredients and tell me what you think of those.
Pine tar extract, pine oil,
Rosemary, cypress,
oatmeal, sand, and orange essential oil.
Sage, lavender essential oils.
Sounds a little bit better. I don't need a chemistry class for this one.
We use a base of olive oil, coconut oil, and shea butter. Then add exfoliants like sea salt and oatmeal and natural scents like citrus and essential oils. We pour this heavenly mixture into a mold where the saponification takes place. This is the cold process, the foreplay of soap making. Here comes the love. Once ready.
So that's the word, is liberating.
We owned this project.
We just want to make a fun game.
You have an idea of what the vision of it looks like, but then it actually coming out the other side looking like that, it's pretty rare. I co-founded the studio with two of my friends. We had all worked at a company that did not end up turning out like any of us had hoped. So coming out of that experience, the three of us, we wanted to do something that felt a little bit more authentic to who we were and what we liked. Going into it, we knew that we had complementary skill sets. Having the kind of the core pillars of game design already there and having experience, we were able to cover a lot of bases. This is really the first time we've been able to pour so much of ourselves into the development of a game. I think I'm most proud of us being
Go, oh wait, we didn't know how to do that part. Well, I guess we got to figure it out. The four of us who started the studio worked in AAA. I left to go start making indie games. So we took that opportunity to kind of use our old friend group and our old expertise to start up the Wandering Band. And it was the first time that all of us felt complete creative control. That was fun. It was a challenge. It was also scary at the beginning. On a AAA team, you have technical artists and a dozen animators. I think the biggest challenge for us was trying to learn new skills and new parts of the game development process without ever doing it before. But I wouldn't trade it away. I think it's the creativity and the creative freedom is totally worth it.
the retro games. These were our favorites. And we tried to combine a lot of different elements from different games and give it a unique touch. A shout out to our community. They helped us translate the demo. They helped us get out the word. The demo has been played over 1 million times. It's just great to get a community like that. They helped us make Corman what it is.
I had lived in Kyoto for a while where I'd gone to a cat cafe and it was such a surreal experience for me at the time. So we sat down and we prototyped Cat Cafe Manager. When you're petting a cat, I don't know what it is, like endorphins that are being released, like the good feeling that you get from that, we kind of wanted to put in the game. We live in a time that's like pretty stressful and out of control in a lot of ways. So for us, it's very important that you sort of get a cozy feeling when you get introduced to the game. Just making the cat cafe of your dreams.
I'm from a really rural town. So is Tanner, the other lead developer on the game. We've been together since middle school, like I said. Yeah. There's no companies, right? There's no video game companies in Little Rock or the state of Arkansas. So we decided to just be the first. To the Rescue is where you play as somebody working in a dog shelter and taking on all the responsibilities that entails. People love dogs so much, but this is also about raising awareness, right? It's both of those things. There's diseases that can appear in the shelter. It's dirty, and adopters only want the cutest puppies, and they don't want the old dogs. Essentially, I just want people to walk away with more knowledge about the things we're representing. We've gotten a lot of people that work in real shelters that are like, I'm glad that you're doing this, because a lot of people don't realize how hard the work is and how thankless it is. So 20% of every dollar that Little Rock Games makes from this game is going to be going to the Pet Finder Foundation. The game is about being hopeful that you can improve your community in some small way.
I first started getting into games probably about 7 or 8 years old, tinkering around with game engines. I started putting games on the web, Flash games and things like that. I always liked the idea of really silly deaths, characters getting blown to bits in like a cartoony way. It's usually an area of frustration, but when you can see your character's head just flying off and blood's going everywhere, it's like, you just got nothing but humour there.
You're gonna feel bad in the morning.
I come up with the idea of having like a Ninja Warrior / Total Wipeout death competition. I was actually working 2 jobs at the same time as developing the game. I'd have all these fantastic ideas while I was there. You know, I'd be on the checkout just thinking about Slaughter League, and by the time I get home, I'd just like, we ended up deciding that it would be best if I worked full-time on the game. This game, it sounds corny, but it's changed my life in that way, whereas no other game had before. It's just flipped my life to where I want it to be, so to finally be able to do this as a job is just insane. I love it.
This is definitely like a good, just relax, chill in the evening, play with buds, laugh at stupid stuff kind of game.
Oh, this is sick. Yeah!
What is this? Oh, Jesus!
It's gonna be an absolute show.
I was pretty laid back in college. I did just fine, but I worked on Dark Deity. I didn't work on my own work. None of us have ever worked on games at all. So for the majority of development, we worked on it in the dorm, yeah. And we would sort of just sit in the dorm room, just like, you know, typing, working away. I learned how to code for like a whole week. I just didn't leave my room, didn't eat, didn't do anything. You know, where we're at, we're all 23. 2 of us haven't even graduated college yet. To be at E3 is pretty exciting.
Whenever you need me. Maybe I should raise my rates. I've failed my people.
Weakness has consequences. This would make for a fine tale.
I've always thought that I would be good at making video games. My mom just sent me a picture of a drawing I did when I was like 8, titled My Own Game. I was diagnosed with Asperger's autism as a child, and I basically kind of just told myself, nah, there's no way I could be in management. But through therapy as a child and then continuing my own efforts, I overcame it. Now I'm doing my dream, doing something I thought I couldn't do. Through this process, I've really learned how valuable people are. There's 20 people on the team. I'm just one of them. And I'm hoping to convey some of that through the game's narrative. You have to have growth and you have to have progress. So for us, with One Lonely Outpost, loneliness helps highlight the value of connection.
took us a long time to get here. We put a lot of hard work into it.
Shipping games brings tough times, but we've also seen like success together.
Success for us is defined as being able to continue to do this because we really love it.
We want to be what we know and be the best at that.
Making something that people enjoy.
Thank you, Freedom Games, for that showcase. Passionate, diverse, different, unexpected, Damon. That's what I would call it. If you weren't paying attention, Freedom Games is providing 20% of the profits of To the Rescue to the Pet Finder Foundation. And now, gentlemen, it's time to react. I will start with, I don't know, maybe I won't speak for everybody. For Greg Miller, I wasn't that familiar with Freedom Games before leading this E3 2021. I am now a Freedom Games fan. Like, I liked what I saw there.
Hell yeah. You're a freedom fighter.
Let's not go that far. I'm a lover, not a fighter. All right? I'm a freedom lover. All right, is that better? Koromon, Cat Cafe manager, To the Rescue, and then Slaughter League all jump out at me. But you guys are the experts. Dan, what did you like?
Well, first, I have to give it up for To the Rescue. Not only is it a great way to support the Pet Finder Foundation, but I really like that kind of simulation game. You saw a great pairing there. Whether you're a cat fan or a dog fan, you can come together to celebrate these awesome pets with a fun, like, sort of management sim. It looks really up my alley. But I dropped my notes, so I'm just going to stick with those for the time being.
I'll get them for you.
Thank you so much. You're a
you
good
dropped
friend.
this, King.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. The one I really want to talk about, because Michael and I were geeking out about it, was Dark Deity.
Yes.
A strategy RPG that looks like very up the alley of anyone who likes Fire Emblem or things like that.
Sure.
I also like they have an XCOM-esque wound system, which I appreciate. Adds another layer to it, so looks pretty exciting.
I thought it was cool. It was cool pixel art also, but also anime-style hand-drawn art that's going along with it too.
Don't take that away from me, Damon. Listen, if y'all want to get my attention with your video game, if you have anime-style artwork for your characters, I'll at least give you my time of day. I'll say that much.
That was the one. I mean, for Dark Deity, you went, ooh. I wrote my only note on Dark Deity is Mikey likes because you liked it.
I mean, yeah, and Cat Cafe Manager. Yo, Freedom Games really hit me with my brand.
Yeah, for sure.
I love Cat. Dude, it's so cute. You know, Cat Cafe Manager. I've been to a cat cafe before. You know, you get a little coffee, you go pet the cats. If you're allergic, R.I.P. But yeah, that was really cute. It's obviously like a tycoon simulator management thing. And cute cats. Say less.
Say less. Damon, you love cats. Did Cat Cafe Manager work for you?
For sure. I've been to many a cat cafe, Greg. I have some ideas about how they might be run better.
Well, here we go. We'll see if you can put proof in the pudding and you get out there, you manage your own cafe.
This fool's lying.
No, it's true.
Oh, okay. True. Yeah. Anything else stand out to you?
I mean, the games are coming so quickly. You see, like, well, this game looks interesting, and then they're on to the next one. There was I think it's fair to say it's a Pokemon-like in there.
Mon's even in the title.
Koromon.
Mon is in the title.
Koromon,
I think there's more to it than that. There's definitely like animal battling.
Well, when it started, I was watching and he started like moving puzzles. Like, oh, I wrote very Zelda-like, and then it became Pokemon. I was like, oh, very Pokemon-like. Actually, I'm sorry, I got this one wrong. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, right now you can get out there and vote. No matter which platform you're watching E3 2021 on, you can vote right now. Cat Cafe Manager is winning narrowly with 32%. Right behind it, Koromon with 26%, and then Dreamscaper with 19%. Remember, no matter where you are watching, you can put it into your chat of choice. And if you want to just roll down your window and yell, somebody else will jot it down, and we'll figure out how to tally it up there, right?
Yes,
Thank
sir. Another thing that an extension from the indie showcase that we saw, like a lot of experimentation.
Exactly.
Yeah. Even though we saw some things that are kind of like, oh, that reminds me of this. That reminds me of Fire Emblem. That reminds me of Pokemon. They're still putting their spin on it, and like I like to see those kinds of things in those games. Everyone has an inspiration, so it's like I want to make the game. Like, make something similar to the game that I love. So
it's all this evolution. I mean, like, think about One Lonely Outpost, for example. You know, we were joking around like, oh, Space Dew Valley, because it does look Stardew Valley inspired, which in turn is inspired by Harvest Moon. So there's a lot more that you can do with this kind of genre, this type of game. No one really gets to be sort of the be-all, end-all of that category or genre, and I'm excited to see what they can offer here. So it's nice to see a lot of these indie developers wearing their influences on their sleeve. I was really excited about Slaughter League, for example. It looks like that kind of competitive madcap fun of a game like Fall Guys, for example, but with the kind of murdery chaos you'd expect from like a Smash TV or like a, I'm blanking on the name right now, Meat Boy.
Oh, yes. And it's funny you mentioned Meat Boy, right, in the panel before, right, where we were doing the indie games conversation. Ed McMillan talked about the fact that the power of indies is that you don't have to appeal to the mainstream.
Yep.
And I think that's why this one stands out in terms of a conference so far, and we can all find something else to hone in on, right? Where it's like, yeah, I don't know if To the Rescue, a realistic, sim about running a rescue operation for dogs and cats would stand out in or make sense for a big publisher who has to get a big return on their investment. But for this team here that wants to do a dog shelter and wants to have the stuff and wants to get profits out there to people and help, yeah, that's great.
It's smart of Freedom Games to, in addition to showing trailers or gameplays for the games, to actually put the creators in front of the camera as well. Yeah. Indie games can be so much more personal. It's so much more one person's vision or a very small team's vision.
Totally. Yeah, one of the things I loved about it when you were watching their To the Rescues, they showed them at PAX, right? And if you've never had the chance to go to a PAX, I urge you to do it and then go to the Indie Mega Booth when you can go to things again. Because yeah, getting to sit there and get a demo from somebody like, oh, what do you do in the game? You're like, oh, I made the game. It's the most personal way and the best way to get it. Ladies and gentlemen, when we return, our friends at Venn will give us a special edition of their series Origin Stories featuring 100 Thieves founder and CEO Nadeshot. That and more after this.
I always really appreciate queer narratives, trans narratives, gender diverse narratives. Tell Me Why by Don't Nod, with a trans character as one of the main characters, is huge. I can't recall many, if any, main characters that are trans that are playable. Being someone who identifies as non-binary, seeing someone that is proudly trans represented in a game is just so incredible to me, because it shows that not only game developers but the world is seeing these narratives as important things and stories to tell, because games are just another way of telling stories.
Innovation. It's happening all around us. We don't know what tomorrow will bring, but we know our broadband network will be ready. Because we're building it right now. It's more reliable, more secure, and 10 times faster than today. 10G will power America's digital future. We're ready for what's next. Are you?
More power.
IGN Summer of Gaming has officially partnered with the ESA for E3 2021. IGN Summer of Gaming is now all summer long. From major press conferences and announcements at E3 2021 to the IGN Expo with exclusive gameplay and reveals, to exciting first looks at the hottest new games and in-depth developer interviews, IGN Summer of Gaming has it all. IGN Summer of Gaming begins right now.
Welcome back, everybody. Hello, hello. Now, we know a little bit about this topic, don't you think?
Thing or two.
In esports, the scene is becoming more than the teams, though. Esports orgs are making content, making apparel, and building a brand. One org taking this model to the next level is 100 Thieves, led by their CEO, Nadeshot. And Alex, you have covered all sorts of events with 100 Thieves. So what do you think is so special about this org and Nadeshot?
Yeah, well, I've known Nade for years at this point. All the way back to when he was a competitor. I used to make the joke, he hates it when I say it, that he's America's favorite gamer. But because he was, at one point, he was like the biggest name in Call of Duty. He was one of the biggest names in esports, right? And he still continues to do that to this day. And I'm so proud to be able to talk about a friend like this, because to see his success has truly been incredible. I could not be more proud of him. And 100 Thieves as an organization, they had such a history, right? From an initial reveal that didn't go the way they wanted to this complete transformation of this brand with a lot of support from great figures in the entertainment and sports industry. It has become amazing what 100 Thieves has been able to accomplish with their drops. Like, they themselves, I feel like there have been a lot of great collaborations over time, but few have been able to make independent products, right? Without collaborations that are just, they're huge. The drops are massive, and their hoodies, their shirts, all the lines that they have, the talent that they sign, everything is done meticulously, and I give him a lot of credit for. Recently, Courage, another friend of mine, is alongside Valkyrie, who is an amazing figure in esports, becoming co-CEOs in the company as well. 100 Thieves have just done incredible work in esports, and I give them a lot of credit for what they've done.
No. I mean, honestly, I feel like they've paved the way for so many orgs. I feel like a lot of orgs modeled their formula of how to approach all these different things, like you were saying, merch and the content creators. But anyway, it's absolutely fascinating, and I'd love to hear more about it. So for more on the Nade Shot 100 Thieves and what's next, here's a special E3 edition and the Origin Story series from our friends at Ben.
My name is Hector Rodriguez, but you might know me as Sax. I know a lot of people in gaming and esports, and I will be bringing them into the studio to share their origin stories.
3 words that best describe you.
Optimistic.
Introspective.
Whoa, you just put me on the spot like that.
It's really about cracking the code, and that's the same approach that I had with FaZe Clan, right? It's like, here's this thing that is so special that nobody knows.
When I walked into the job, this is a sacred space. I am a guest here. I'm here to try and help align things, motivate, set new visions, get more people involved. I didn't start it, I didn't create it. You know, this has to be a very respectful entry into this party.
I'm like, yo, what do you want from me?
Yeah.
We were 3 years in 4 months. And people are talking about, yo, why have you won a championship? You know how fucking hard it is to win in League of Legends?
Join us on Vent for new episodes, behind-the-scenes moments, and much, much more.
Esports is 1,000% going to contend with traditional sports in viewership, which means
dollar bills, y'all.
Origin stories.
Bro, this is Matt.
Hi, Matt.
How you doing? Good.
Let's do me a favor. So what's going to happen is Hector will introduce you.
Yeah.
You'll sit down.
You better give me the best introduction I've
I can't
ever
even
had.
wait to give you the intro.
The prodigal
This
son.
dude.
That was just stab me in the back.
I'm super excited. I'm getting mic'd up right now. I'm about to interview somebody that I've interviewed like 100 times, but I'm gonna try to make it super interesting by asking him questions and talking about that we haven't really ever talked about in public. There he is.
Oh, I'm sweating. I am sweating. And I have to pee.
Welcome back to another episode of Origin Stories here on Ven. My name is Hector Rodriguez. I am your host. Today I have the honor, the pleasure, the true pleasure actually, to introduce my little brother, someone who's near and dear to my heart, Mr. Nade Shot, Matt Haig, CEO of 100 Thieves. I mean, you do it all, baby. Why don't you come in and sit down?
You were about to say Optic Nade Shot. You got really close to saying Optic Nade Shot.
I almost did say
You
Optic
stopped
Nade
yourself.
Shot. Yeah, I did. Did you catch that?
I did catch it.
Usually, I like to start out this show by asking you 3 questions and then another question, but the main one is 3 words that best describe you.
3 words that describe me? Whoa, you just put me on the spot like that.
All right, 3 words that describe 100 Thieves.
That one's tough too. Let me think.
Can you describe anything in 3 words?
No, I'm not good at descriptive adjectives.
Oh.
Let me see. Give me 2 seconds. Let me spitball something that's. Well, because I don't like using 3 words because I'm confident in myself and I don't want to sound pompous. You know what I mean?
No, you're in good company, babe.
I would say goofy, impatient,
yes,
and squirrely.
Squirrely's good.
That's what you always called me. So.
Yeah, but it wasn't because you were like your brain was elsewhere. It's just because at the
look
time,
like a squirrel.
At the time, you did.
Chubby cheeks.
Yeah, at the time, but now you've grown into a handsome man.
Thank you.
Who knows you better than anyone else?
I would say, if you asked me that question like 8 years ago, I'd say you. when we were living in the Optic house. But now I have to give it to my girlfriend, Haley.
Yeah.
I mean, Haley can read all my emotions really well, and she's very patient, and she tolerates me.
Yeah.
Because she knows that sometimes I get angry, and sometimes I get sad, and sometimes I have a range of emotions where she is always just like that even keeled, you know what to expect, and I know how she's gonna react when I am reacting to something. So I'd say Haley knows me best. We've been together for 2 years.
So obviously, I've known you for over 15 years, I think now. Oh my God, how old were you when we met?
2008, Call of Duty 4.
Call of Duty 4, that's right.
You weren't in Gears of War. My first event was MLG Chicago 2007.
St. Charles.
St. Charles, yeah. What the hell? How'd you know that?
I know everything.
Were you there?
I was not.
Do you know I got my ass beat? I almost made it to championship bracket, top 16, would have been considered a pro player.
Yeah.
Lost to Gringo Jr., who was like an 8-year-old kid.
Oh, dude, he was like during Call of Duty 2. I heard about that dude.
Yeah, kid was nasty.
Yeah, he was.
Pieced us up on Mansion, execution. Last round was tied 3-3, first of 4. I'll never forget the round.
Yeah.
Made a call, did not pan out.
How many times a day do you say 100 thieves or 100 thieves or 100 T?
I guess I say 100 Thieves a lot. 100 Thieves, 100 Thieves, 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
I was doing like a PR tour for Excedrin. We had a partnership to make people aware of mindfulness routine that can help you reduce headaches. And everybody on that call kept saying 100 Thieves, and it was driving me nuts.
Yeah.
We talked to like 30 different outlets in 4 hours this morning. They all said 100 Thieves. I didn't correct them.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be that guy.
Just 100 Thieves?
100 Thieves, 100 Thieves, 100 Thieves.
Yeah. Let's go back to the earliest memory that you have. Born in Chicago, Illinois. Lived in Palos Hills. Palos Hills. Does your dad still live at the same crib?
He built the house that we grew up in Palos Hills, and then after my mom passed, I think there were just too many bad memories in the house, so he sold it and moved to a nice part of town, which was like 20 minutes away. It's called Orland Park.
Okay.
And now he moved again to a city called Lisle. So it's tough, man. I wish I could go back to that house to kind of like face some of the fears that I had from the stuff that I saw with my mom, but I'm glad that I can still go back to Chicago. I'm bummed that you guys went to Texas, because that was always like my saving grace. All right, I go see my pops, go hang out with Optic. That was great. But my earliest memory, that's kind of tough. I think one of my earliest memories was probably my dad. He would have to reside the house every couple years because of the material that he used to build it. And he had scaffolding built up the side of this 2-story home. And I was playing on it like a jungle gym, but little did I know that a wasp started nesting inside the scaffolding itself.
Yeah.
And so like 4 or 5 of them came out and stung me all at one time in my hand, and I've been terrified of flying bugs ever since.
How old were you?
I don't know, I was young.
Like, were you a teenager or were you like a toddler?
No, I was younger than that.
Like 7, 8?
I was probably like 8, 9, 10.
Were you crying?
Yeah, bawling my eyes out. I cried a lot as a kid.
Did you?
Yeah. I was a very emotional young man.
I think I cried a lot up until like I was 4 years old, and that's what my parents told me. It's like it wasn't until I was able to hit someone that I cried, because I didn't know how to release that anger. But once I learned how to punch walls and things, I started doing that in the bed.
Yeah, I didn't get angry. I got sad.
I was telling Lee Trink the story about me being in Mexico as for my school, it's a Catholic school.
Juarez.
Yeah, and how the nuns would grab me from the hair here, and then they would just like seriously jerk it. So I was like, oh my God, that hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were just disciplinaries. And both of my parents were actually disciplinaries. My dad was super strict, him, a very quiet dude, but that's because of that. And my mom was just super
yeah.
And I still became what I became. Just I didn't give a shit. They hurt. I would pretend like it hurt, but I'd be like, it don't hurt. I would look at the wall or my teddy bear and be like,
see, I love that. But I think that's what I appreciated actually a lot, getting to hang out with you. You were like 10 years older than me when we first started hanging out. And I always loved your mentality around other people. You're just very tough exterior. And that was something I could appreciate, because my dad was a great dad. I love my dad to death. He's my hero. But there was a lot of things that, I don't want to say, because we're not in the streets in Schaumburg of Illinois, but just seeing how you interact with individuals. If somebody doesn't talk to you right, you kind of let them know that they weren't talking to you the right way.
Yeah.
And I don't like confrontation, and that was stuff that I wouldn't do. But now that I'm older and a lot more confident in myself, I feel like I picked up some tendencies from you.
Do you wish that you could go back to a certain situation and be like, yo, my man?
All the time, brother. All the time, man.
Do you have one that you can recall right now?
Man, I mean, well, what's the situation? Do I have the knowledge that I do of where I'm going to be in life?
No, you're just you.
I was just me?
Yeah.
Nah, man, I didn't have going for me. Like, who am I gonna step up to, bro? I was like, bro, I didn't get testosterone shots as a kid. Did you know that?
No.
I was not even in the percentile of growth, so they were worried that I wasn't gonna be on track to be a certain height or a certain weight. So freshman year, bro, I weighed like 85 pounds, and I was like 4'8".
So were you like a good kid, bad kid? Did you get in trouble? Were you the class clown? What kind of kid were you?
No, I wasn't the class clown. Dude, I've told people this before, but I was a super timid kid. I mean, I was really bad in social situations. I didn't know how to make friends. I mean, I had friends in grade school and then like going into high school, but my first job at McDonald's is like what really helped me come out of my shell and start learning how to talk to people and not be so afraid. But yeah, I wasn't a class clown. I kind of just like stayed to the side, and I wanted attention. I know that for a fact. Like, I just took this narcissism test. I'm like right in the middle. I'm like a 18 out of 40.
Are you?
I thought I'd be way more narcissistic than that.
Yeah. What do you think mine would be? My score?
I think you'd probably be like a 28.
Is that bad?
40 is the highest.
40 is the highest?
You know Jackson 400 Thieves? He got a 33.
Jackson got a 33?
He's the definition of a narcissist.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, I was like just a quiet kid.
Play sports?
Yeah. Baseball, basketball, B team. I was terrible at that. I was too short, man. I didn't have any athletic ability.
Yeah? I mean, so was Muggsy Bogues, I think.
Second baseman, 4th through 8th grade, though, All-Stars every year.
Really?
Yeah. If you can hang your hat on that.
I can. Yeah. I mean, I've seen the pictures, or I've seen the one picture of you as like a baby with a bat.
Yeah.
Just like chubby
Bro, that was me
cheeks.
in like 7th grade.
No, you were not.
Nah, I'm playing.
Oh,
I was,
my God.
I
Bro, I literally thought that was true, and I'm like, man, you had to look like you're like 7.
Yeah.
I remember clearly, by the way, the first day that I heard your voice when we were playing on Vacant with Diesel and somebody else. You were playing with somebody else. But I remember, and I'm like, damn, this has got a deep-ass voice.
No, you go back and watch my old videos, I sound like a...
No, I don't know why, but you sounded like, I don't know, you were talking like a grown dude.
Must have been the testosterone shots.
May have been.
I didn't grow this myself.
No. But I remember that clearly. When do you think was the first time that we met?
Well, I mean, I could tell you the story how you and I met, but I don't know if you want that on camera with Optic Nerve. Yeah.
Yeah, go.
Well, so we were one of the better competitive teams in Modern Warfare 2. We won the first 3 major tournaments in Modern Warfare 2. And then Optic reached out to this guy named Optic Nerve, who no longer works there. I mean, he wasn't even working there much longer after I joined. But he basically said, yeah, we're looking for a competitive team right now. We make YouTube videos and we make money off of it. And my mind was blown. I'm like, wait, what? Wait, hold on. Back up. Because I had posted like clips to my YouTube channel of me clutching 1v3s on Crossfire, Search and Destroy, all these old school gameplays from game battles. So when I found out you guys can make money from videos, that's when I don't know why, because I don't think I've ever had that level of motivation for anything in my life besides that.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard that, it was, let's blow the hinges off this thing and let's go.
Yeah.
So I got introduced to you. I think I was really scared to talk to you. I think we hopped in a Skype call, and you were kind of an asshole, to be honest.
Yeah.
You wanted no business talking to me. You were just very short.
Yeah.
Like, who the is this guy?
No, I knew who you were. I just didn't want to have anything to do with you at the time.
Yeah, seriously though, that's what the tough part was.
Is that what it felt?
Well, because Optic was so tight-knit back then, I felt like I had to be in your good graces to really feel a part of it. But I was only close with like Diesel and Predator.
Yeah.
Predator was the
I think
OG.
that's. I mean, still to this day, I think that's how Optic is, right? Like it's literally the same group of guys since the beginning.
The first time somebody meets you, they got to approach you the right way, because if they don't, I think you write them off immediately.
Yeah. All right, so let's get back to the origin story. Take me through the competitive years of 2010 through 2012.
It's pretty broad, man.
Yeah, 2010 is what? Modern Warfare 2?
2010 to 2012, nothing happened. Nothing notable besides, COD XP.
Yeah, 2011, COD XP.
COD XP, we won that event, $100,000.
You just made $100,000. How does that feel? I don't want to work at McDonald's anymore.
You guys end up winning, and again, I knew that we were going to win it. I don't know how, but I remember that the moment that you guys won, I was in the middle of the crowd, and Jericho, Gold Glove, Dr. Disrespect at the time, or Guy, he wasn't in custom, Guy and Bashir Musa, and T. Martin were all there.
Bash?
Yeah, Bash.
Yeah.
From there, let's jump through 2013, Black Ops 2. Yeah. You're blowing up. For the first time ever, after only sponsoring people in Halo 3, here comes Red Bull.
Oh, yeah. So that was really the biggest moment, is I flew out to LA. I was staying at the Gamer Shore House, which was Jericho, Syndicate, and Gold Glove. And I was going out there to sign a contract with Red Bull, part of their athlete program, because I grew up watching Wall Street was sponsored by Red Bull, and to me that seemed like the coolest thing ever.
Same.
And I sent them a DM when I was still living at my parents' house, like a year prior, like, hey, I'm really interested in Red Bull and working with you guys. Do you have any plans of getting in Call of Duty? That's when I met a guy named Sam Keen, who's still friends with to this day, great guy.
Yeah.
And they flew me out later that year, 2012, signed the contract, and when I got back, that's when Black Ops 2 and live streaming, it seemed as if every day after I returned from LA with the Red Bull hat on, it was 1,000 viewers, 2,000 viewers, 3,000 viewers, just climbing and climbing and climbing. That was when I caught my break.
Yeah. All right, so walk me through your decision to, one, retire, and then ultimately leave Optic.
Yeah, I was going back and forth to LA, and Fwiz, who's the head of gaming at YouTube, who you and I are both really, really close with, one of our best friends, he was always convincing me, or trying to convince me, to spend some time in LA, just to broaden my horizons, try something new. So yeah, I mean, look, dude, when you think you're like in love and it kind of clouds your judgment, and all I want to do is get out to LA and start that next chapter of my life, but it came with a heavy heart because I didn't want to leave Optic or the house because I was having so much fun. I have a hard time actually putting myself back in my shoes that I was in then.
Yeah.
Because
you're not the same person.
Yeah, I'm not the same person, and I would probably do it again, but I'm upset that I cut off that part of my life so soon. Because I love the Optic House and I love living around you and hanging out. And I thought that's what I was going to be doing for the rest of my life. I thought we had something special that nothing could ever alter, and we're going to take over the world of gaming. And Optic has done it respectively. I'm trying to do it with 100 Thieves. But yeah, I definitely have regrets of leaving at that time in my life when I did.
Yeah.
Because I moved out to LA, started living on my own, and I felt like I was on an island. I mean, I was in a house living with all my best friends.
Yeah.
And now I'm in LA alone,
In an
trying to
apartment.
find my way.
You know what's crazy is that back when you were still back in Chicago with us, you brought up the whole streetwear thing to me. So walk me through your decision to finally pull the trigger on doing something that you had been talking about for years.
I was sitting on my couch, depressed as just watching like reruns of Friends for the first time. I'm not even kidding, man. It was a really dark point in my life just because I wasn't happy with what I was doing, and I just felt isolated even though I had friends around me. And so I was trying to come up with something that I could get excited about again, and I've always wanted to start an apparel brand, and even then, I don't even think I knew what my style was or what my style would turn into, but I knew that if I created something that I really loved, everything else would follow.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to come up with words that play on each other that sound really cool.
Yeah.
If I'm being totally candid,
yeah,
that's really all it was. Like, Thieves popped up into my head. I don't remember why, but I always thought the idea, maybe I was playing Skyrim a lot. I don't know. Thieves Guild, Thieves. Like, Thieves by itself, definitely can't get the trademark for that. It wouldn't be that original. Like, how can I add something on top to make it sound fun? And I've always been one that wanted to make money. Of
course.
So I always thought about, like, the $100 bill is one thing that you hear everywhere, you see it everywhere, pop culture, hip hop. So I was just like, man, this kind of rolls off the tongue, 100 Thieves. And I want to go back and get my old phone because I still have it.
Yeah.
Send in the first text about, hey, what do you think of this? 100 Thieves, 100 Thieves, 100 Thieves.
What did you send that text with?
I think I sent it to my ex-girlfriend at the time.
Yeah. First time that you're in the room with Dan Gilbert, what are your feelings?
Well, they flew me out to NBA Finals, and that was surreal. It was Cleveland versus the Warriors, and I went up to San Francisco, and I sat in this room with Dan in a boardroom at the hotel the team was staying at. So I was seeing all the players walking around. Dan had like 4 people on his side, opening doors for him. He just looked like money.
Yeah.
And we started going through the pitch, started talking about it. And to be honest with you, I was nervous at first, but then once we started talking about gaming, it's my wheelhouse. So I was just firing from all cylinders. Connections were being made in my mind. It was somehow limitless. Bradley Cooper, except I didn't look as good. So I started pitching 100 Thieves off this deck that Blake masterfully built. And he sat there with me for an hour. And Blake actually told me he never really sits in a room with anybody longer than 30 minutes. And he got on a helicopter directly after and went and had dinner with Steve Jobs' wife.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, so Dan Gilbert makes this massive investment. How does the Drake situation happen? Obviously with
Scooter Braun.
Scooter Braun, such a good name, good basketball player right here.
Scooter's a legend. Man, that story's funny. So I get introduced to Scooter by this random dude who was working in venture, who basically said, yeah, I know Scooter really well. You guys should come take a meeting. And this was when we were raising our Series A. So Dan Gilbert did our seed series of Series A. We were trying to raise like $10 million. So this guy, after hearing our pitch, introduced us to Scooter. And he takes me to Scooter's office. And this dude's literally on the phone with Justin Bieber as I walk in. And talent managers, they speak a certain way, especially, I mean, if they're talking to their clients and if they're talking to anybody that they're trying to get a deal done for. I mean, block and tackle. That's what talent managers do. Obviously, Scooter's much more than that.
Yeah.
He's a savvy investor, great guy. But at that time, that was my first initial reaction. He's yelling and and I'm like, oh, goddamn. So I walk in there, and what I find out after the meeting, I'm not going to bore you guys with the details, but this was the worst meeting I ever took. I was sweating. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I don't know what to talk about. And what I find out is the guy that set it all up was trying to be like this grimy middleman. I don't know who he is to this day, so if he's super successful, please don't hate me, but that was just my perception of it.
Yeah.
Basically, he said he knew me really well to Scooter, and he told Scooter that whatever.
Yeah.
Basically, playing them. And so it was the worst meeting I ever took. I'm like, yo, I don't think Scooter's the right fit. You know, I went back to John. I don't know if it makes sense. He was saying a lot of things. I don't think he really understood where I was coming from. So then I get a call from Scooter after we told them no. And I'm like, oh, I'm not answering this. I can't answer this. I hate confrontation. Scooter Braun, super successful. He calls like John's former boss. Gets on the phone with John, and then gets me to take the call again. And I'm in the drive-thru with Jackson, who was one of the co-founders of 100 Thieves, and he apologized to me. He was like, hey, look, man, I didn't know what that situation was, or I had no context to what we were talking about. But as I sat down and learned more about your business with your partner, John, I really love to be a part of this. I promise you I can take care of you and open a lot of doors that you wouldn't be able to open without my help. And to this day, Scooter has been one of the biggest contributors to our success. Just great guy.
100%, man. That's so crazy.
And he introduced us to Drake, too.
Yeah.
The next day.
How did that happen?
We're finalizing the deal. He's like, yo, you know who would love this? I got a friend in hip-hop who would love this. I'm like, who's that? He's like, Drake. He calls up Drake's manager, Future, in the room with us, in our tiny 400-square-foot bedroom, which was our office for our leadership team.
It's on speakerphone, you hear,
We didn't have it on speaker. He's like, all right, you're gonna come by tomorrow? The next day, Drake's manager, Future, was in our living room, and we pitched him on the business, and then a couple months later, we went and met Drake at his house, told him more about 100 Thieves, and it was a wrap.
Damn. That when you dropped that picture, I was just like, I mean, I knew about it already, but everyone's reaction was just like so iconic.
Yeah, I mean, it's so tough too because Drake was on tour at that time, so we took a lot of we tried really hard to get in front of him. I mean, he's busy. He doesn't know me that well. He just knows a little bit about the business. He loves gaming. I mean, I'd be lying to you if I told you we were really close because we're not. You know, we've spoken over DMs a couple times over the years. But him and Future both still contribute from like a creative level. Our board meetings like 4 times a year. But I was just honored and just over the moon with the fact that he fucked with 100 Thieves just a sliver, just enough to be like, all right, I'm gonna throw some cash at this. And it was a good amount of money, and I met with him twice. It was awesome, man.
That's so cool.
I'm like, it sucks too because I don't want to go out to be the guy and be like, yo, I'm your biggest fan. But that dude got me through college.
How difficult is that, right? Because obviously there's levels of success and levels of popularity, and obviously you have like a massive, fan base, but he's got a massive, massive fan base. So you don't want to approach a person that you admire and say, yo, I admire you. You know what I mean? Because then you're uncool or you're
exactly. Because if somebody comes up to me and starts like, wide-eyed, drooling over me, I'm just. It's this weird psychology. I'm like, great to meet you, man. Pleasure, and I'm on my way. So I didn't want to do that. It was I was so nervous meeting him, and I don't even know if I was putting sentences together. And it's tough too, like I said, because his soundtrack reminds me of so many things. His discography of me in high school just struggling with shit, college, dealing with my mom, like. Man, it was crazy.
Got you through some times.
Yeah, bro, it got me through some time. So to finally meet this guy, have invested in our company, one of the best days of my life.
So tell me about 100 Thieves. What are you guys doing in the future? I mean, obviously don't tell me what you got, but what are some of the industry thoughts that you have about where your position is in this space?
Yeah, so I think what's really important for us is just to continue to push the boundaries of what it means to be an entertainment company in gaming. I feel as if there is a lot of narrow-mindedness in esports because if you do anything other than competition, which teams haven't traditionally done, or that's always what they've done, is just compete.
Yeah.
There's this negative connotation and stigma around your brand. And so people give us a hard time about slinging apparel and making videos with creators.
Yeah.
But now everybody's trying to do it.
Yeah.
And obviously we started that with Optic, and FaZe Clan did it really, really well before too. So that was the model. Like, let's go do this as well as we can. And build something special.
What's worse about the space right now is that they get mad at you, at me, at FaZe, and they just get mad at the fact that they're not just a sports team. Everybody's out here trying to be the Cowboys, but nobody's thinking, it's like, I want to be the Cowboys, I want to be HBO, and I also want to be Supreme.
Yeah, you can't afford to be the Cowboys in esports. The business model doesn't work yet. I mean, I might one day, but I respect a lot of people that work in esports. I mean, I don't mean to sound like I'm on my high horse. I mean, you and I feel like with a lot of the teams that give us grief, besides maybe one or two outliers, they were really coming up on League of Legends and Counter-Strike when we came up in console, and we were always doing content differently. And so I feel like us coming in, I hope they understand that the majority of people that I've seen or work with, I do have respect for. But I'm proud of the business that we've built, and I'm never going to be apologetic for creating something that has become a really great business. I mean, we're going to be making some announcements at the end of the year. I think the industry is going to turn their head.
Yeah, you should, and you should be proud of that. More importantly, any single time that somebody tells you that you're only a hoodie and you haven't won any championships, just remind them the amount of championships that you won at Optic.
Well, and then we won multiple championships on our teams.
That's what I'm saying.
We won 2 majors of Call of Duty. We won multiple Fortnite tournaments. I mean, people might not count those or whatever that case may be. Won this Valorant tournament, First Strike, a major right there. We've only been around for 4 years. We're not even 4. We were 3 years in 4 months. And people are talking about, yo, why have you won a championship? You know how hard it is to win in League of Legends when I got these teams spending $8 million on a roster in a year? Bro, they can't, and that's not even including buyouts. I'm like, yo, what do you want from me? What do you want? Like, truly, what do you want?
You're actually
I feel like Ryan Gosling in The Notebook. Hold on, keep the cameras going because I'm going to keep going. You guys don't understand. I mean, Hector understands. You don't understand how hard it is to win in esports. You come in, we came in January of 2018. Player contracts and relationships with the owners and the talent managers and the agencies already exist. We had to come in and do right by our first couple players to build relationships with other players. And then get into the Counter-Strike. We had bad luck in 2018 with the Brazilian roster. Things didn't pan out. That would have been like a top 5 team on paper. We had a great Counter-Strike team for a little bit. We came in Call of Duty, won championships. League of Legends, if you're not spending the most money, you ain't going to win. It's crazy. So people give us a hard time about not winning, but we've won, and it's only been 3 years. Every other team's been around for 10 years.
10, 15 years.
10 years.
Can
you give me a break? Cut me some slack, man.
Can you give you a break is a real question,
gets me riled up.
I couldn't tell.
We try so hard to win. It's not easy.
No, I get it, man. Look, you're preaching to the choir. Secondly, I don't like that you feel like you need to explain yourself to anyone. You are who you are. You've done what you've done. Numbers speak for themselves, and anybody that has any sort of issue needs to look inwards, look at their bottom line on that spreadsheet, and say whether or not they're making money on that and how much is going out the window. And if it doesn't look anything like the way that we've been doing it for the longest time, where we are very concentrated on the fact that this is a business and money needs to be made, they're playing the wrong game because they're spending other people's money, and it's so easy. But when you're the one putting your ass on the line with all that cash, investing your personal $300,000 into your team that isn't even a team, where's the respect?
Yeah, bro.
Where is the respect? You know what? On that, I think that is the perfect place to end it. I want to thank you.
Well, now these motherfuckers, I'm sorry. These people are gonna hate us even more. Dude. We just sound like we're in our own little echo chamber. I'd like to say, if this part still makes it in, I have a ton of respect for the other teams, but I am jaded in a sense with just the things people say and the perspective that they have of what we're doing. I mean, these teams that will come spew out ignorance on their timelines about what our business is, they should be excited that there's another team that's coming in and reinventing and creating new revenue streams for teams.
For them to take a guide off of.
The first team that exits in a big public way, it's a trickle-down effect. I want FaZe to be worth $1 billion. I want Optic to be worth $1 billion. I want Team Liquid G2. I hope one of y'all sells for $1 billion. Please! No,
that's all
I'm
good.
begging y'all, man.
I'm telling you, I hate when you sort of have to feel like you have to explain yourself to anyone. You literally have a good model. When we started back in 2013, has resonated throughout this entire history. So when you come into the space, a decade after some of these teams, knowing what you know and how to build a team, dude, why do you even care? Like, you have like one of the coolest brands.
Well, I don't care about it on a day-to-day. I mean, you don't see me popping off on Twitter. No. But when we start talking about it as close friends, like that shit's that bothers me, but I don't think about it often.
Nah, good. That's going to do it for this episode of Origin Stories. My guest today, obviously, Mr.
You think
Matt
I could get the water in my mouth all the way from up here?
No, you cannot. And I wouldn't try it. Actually, let's see it. Do it for the...
Well, I don't want to f*** up their set.
Yeah, you're good. Anyway, we'll see you guys next time.
Look at your face.
Yeah, delete that. Get something better. Oh my god. Yes. No. Fucking weighted nade shots.
No, I get it.
For photography.
Wait, explain it.
Let's have a camera right here. So we're going to use this camera right here.
Okay.
Hat on, hat off, whatever you prefer.
Yo, Bill's always slacking. He's not even doing anything.
He ain't doing shit, man. Sneezing?
Oh, yo, there's a cat and a skunk fighting.
No. Oh, don't move.
And that was a very exciting and lovely interview with Hex and Nadeshot, and there was so much I wanted to say, and then it ended with a skunk and a cat fighting there.
Yeah, they said in our ear, this video ends with a skunk and a cat fighting, and I was like, that can't be right. And then there it was.
Yeah.
There it was. Ven.
I didn't know what was going to happen. I was like, are they going to both get into furry costumes, and we're going to see like a fight like that? And then, no, it was just in the alley. So there you go. You don't see that every day, that's for sure. But anyway, you know, you and Golden Boy have been working the bomber jacket look, and I was like, I need to get in on that, man. Like, come on.
We just heard from Nadeshot himself about establishing a brand, being more than just an esports team, right?
100%.
So there you go. Go be part of the E3 esports team, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, you can go to e3expo.com/shop and get all your E3 merch.
I'd also like to say, as a woman who is 6'2", and Greg Miller can probably appreciate this as well, sleeve length.
Yeah, that's good.
Fantastic, folks. Usually when I put on a jacket, it's like up to here, but this is actually pretty good.
There you go, look at that.
Okay, so it's made for tall people as well. And
sorry, Golden Boy. They'll make a kid's version one day.
Oh, be nice to him. But
not here
at
to
least
defend
he can wear the dad's hat. Yeah,
He does like the dad hat. He can wear the
just
dad
like
hat.
throw that on the ground over there. But we do have some great merch. So again, e3expo.com/shop. I was like, oh my God, help me out if I don't say it right. Anyway, again, that was a really great inside look at Nadeshot and
100%.
Hex. Yeah.
If I can, like, you know, as somebody who interviews people all the time, and I know you do too, in a longer form podcast interview, I was surprised at how candid that was, how insightful it was. Like, I know about 100 Thieves because so many of our ex-IGN colleagues have gone to 100 Thieves, but I don't know much about Nadeshot. So to hear that, first off, I didn't realize he's a suburb of the Chicago kid, just like myself. DuPage County, Glen Ellen represent. But on top of that, you know, his journey, right? I mean, talking about having to take testosterone shots.
I know,
so
super
open,
candid.
Talking about being depressed, right? Leaving his team before he started 100 Thieves. Like, that's all a fascinating journey. And it's, you know, as you continue to see 100 Thieves blow up, that's awesome.
Yeah, I absolutely just loved how candid they were with each other. They're obviously like very close friends.
Yeah.
And I think Hex said at the beginning, like, I've interviewed you so many times, I don't even know what to say to you right now. And then he's like, what are 3 ways that you would describe yourself? What are 3 ways you describe 100 Thieves? They were just having a good time, so super fun. But anyways, so games have changed so much over the years by becoming more inclusive and representative of their player bases, but there's still more work to be done in this space. Let's discuss how we can make games more inclusive.
Okay.
Yay!
I think that representation is really one of the biggest things that the gaming industry needs to tackle.
The more diversity we have in the industry, the more voices we have, and that is how you grow something
there's no one type of gamer. There's no one type of gamer that looks the same either.
Bringing in people from different backgrounds makes the place generally more interesting.
Like, I have no problem like stepping into the shoes of, you know, of Nathan Drake or like some other like, you know, white male protagonist. But, you know, just realizing eventually like, wait a minute, nobody is being asked to step into my shoes. What's up with that?
I want you to be able, when you pick up most games, that you see yourself in some way in those games.
The areas that you don't hear about gaming in which Black people are working, like I think advocating for their visibility and bringing them up is very, very key as well.
When you're developing the game, they're like, okay, we can start adding this Black representation, this, you know, brown representation into the game from the ground up, and then that alleviates the problem.
This is where we need to have programs in place to allow more women, more people of color to have a transition into this space and an opportunity to work their way up the ladder like everyone else.
It's gonna make a huge difference on how your games are created. The diversity in the space helps everyone, I promise, I promise, I promise.
And I also think that some of it falls on consumers as well, and us and gamers in supporting these games, and supporting games that are positively showing diversity in our community and representing the gaming community.
Female gamers make up 48%, and you wouldn't even know it by looking from the outside in. So that's what I would want to change.
The next era of gaming is just going to be so sweet, and I am super excited about it. We are definitely heading in that direction, but I can't wait until everyone is part of it and everyone has great ideas and everyone just feels like they belong in the community, and it's just going to be a great time when that happens.
All right, well, next up, we're going to be talking about Freedom Games. Before, I get into the whole production bit, I just want to say, one, follow Freedom Games on Twitter. Just did that. Also, this next game, follow them on Twitter, too. They seem like incredible people. Because here's the deal. They want you to believe, Freedom Games, that in 2021, farming is fun, especially when the livestock are robot chickens and cows, and the crops are gene spliced with alien freaking material. So the question is, do you have what it takes to build a thriving farm on an alien planet? Here's one lonely outpost so you can see for yourself.
Summer of Gaming has officially partnered with the ESA for E3 2021. IGN Summer of Gaming is now all summer long. From major press conferences and announcements at E3 2021 to the IGN Expo with exclusive gameplay and reveals to exciting first looks at the hottest new games and in-depth developer interviews, IGN Summer of Gaming has it all. IGN Summer of Gaming begins right now.
Crazy to think about it now, like a dream dinner after we've all sort of been stuck inside for so long. I'd stack the deck with a few friends of my golden boy. I mean, I just, yeah, would have to have him at the table.
I'd probably invite Pokimane.
Valkyrie, just because she's a boss.
Pokimane and Valkyrie, two amazing women that have done so much for the industry and so much for women.
But I gotta bring all the voice actors from my favorite video games. Boy. The dude who says boy and the kid who plays the boy.
How could you not invite Keanu Reeves?
Vin Diesel or Henry Cavill.
Little Richard, if we could get him back.
Megan Thee Stallion, T-Pain. You know, some celebrity gamers on there too, you know, to just spice it up a little bit.
Yeah, I say Michael Jordan. Bring him in. You know, I don't know if he likes this kind of stuff, but we'll get him there.
I'd have to stack it with a few of our most out there visionaries, right?
Todd Howard, Jade Raymond,
Cory Barlog, Major Nelson,
Amy Hennig,
Ed Boon,
Neil Druckmann.
Kojima would be at the table.
Have to invite Hideo Kojima.
He's always posting really awesome meals on social media.
Does he use his fork in the left hand or the right hand, or actually does he use his telekinesis to just magic the food into his mouth? You know what I mean?
My ideal dinner at E3 would just be a one-on-one sit down with Ken Levine.
Bioshock Infinite is one of my favorite games of all time, so I would love to talk to him about it.
And I just want to know what he's doing now.
I would bring the entirety of Nintendo.
Oh man, Miyamoto-san, I would say.
Miyamoto's there. He's eating a lot of popcorn chicken.
I think Reggie.
You don't even work at Nintendo anymore, and I gotta bring Reggie.
I think his entire story is phenomenal.
You know when you see CEOs and you're like, you look a little stiff, right? No, I feel like he would be a good person to have a beer with.
Of course, there are so many luminaries in the games industry that I want to meet, but like, I want to party with QA.
I'd actually extend that to everyone.
No, I would bring everybody. This is for us. We're all eating from the gaming entree that is E3. So yeah, you're all invited to my dinner. If y'all can afford $75,000 a plate.
I think it's safe to say that we would all like to have a lunch or a dinner with Miyamoto and pick his brain about video games. How incredible would that be? But folks, you know, in the games that we love, our favorite characters are brought to life by real people using real motivation to give us a realistic look at the story. And while some of the faces of gaming voiceover are relatively unknown, their resumes and body of work over time speak for themselves. So our Voices of E3 panel will discuss the life of a real-life voice actor in a virtual world.
And here we are for the Wonder Women in Gaming panel with some incredible women in the industry. I'm so excited to be moderating this. I'm so excited to call most of them friends, all of them friends, right? Some of us are newer friends, but we're all friends.
Which one of us isn't a friend? I
know.
Who didn't make the cut, y'all? Who did not make the cut? No,
You're all friends. We're all friends. All right, let me jump in because we have a lot to talk about, and I'm so excited to pick all your brains and get us flowing and get us moving. So let me introduce the wonderful women of this panel. Oh, I guess I should say what my name is. I'm Kritzia Bajos. I'm also a voice actress, on-camera actress. Yes, part of What the Vox with these wonderful women. But enough about me. Let's get to the women here in the panel. We've got Courtney Taylor Callie-Born, most famous for Jack and Mass Effect, Ada Wong in Resident Evil, Soul Survivor for Fallout 4, passionate about activism. She co-founded the online community of Nerds Vote. Amazing badass all around. We love you, Courtney Taylor. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Anjali Bhamani, I have to say specifically, she is known as the international superstar Anjali.
Goodness.
Well, you know, that's what was requested.
It's a super spy.
Sorry, super spy. So even better.
But I'll take superstar. I mean, either way.
Superstar, super spy. Why can't we have both? Why can't we have both?
Sure.
She's graced the stages of Broadway, has illuminated your televisions in shows like Modern Family, Marvel's Runaways, Grace and Frankie, and one of my favorite shows of all time, probably the best show, arguably for me, is The Sopranos, among many, many, many others. In gaming, she's most known as Symmetra in Overwatch and Rampart in Apex Legends. Anjali, hello, hello.
Hello.
And we're moving over to multilingual, 5 languages, y'all. Carolina Rabasa, Colombiana. 4. I saw 5, a little bit of French. Don't humble yourself. Oh, I make it up. Yeah, sure. Okay. All right. Colombiana dancer, actor for screen and games, most known for her roles in Overwatch as Sombra, Raze in Valorant, and many recurring characters for Victor and Valentino, among many other shows. Guys, the lists are too long here. I'm just giving you guys some nice spicy tidbits here. But Carolina Rabasa, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
And Jennifer Hale, actor, singer, Matrix revealer, podcast host, passionate advocate for financial freedom, Guinness World Record holder for her incredible resume of video games, including Femme Chef in Mass Effect. It gives me goosebumps even just saying Femme Chef. I still, and I'll talk to you about that Twitter post that I love so much. And Ash from Overwatch, among a ridiculous amount of others, y'all. Jennifer Hale. That was really well.
I know, we were all ready for that.
And you closed right at the perfect time. I feel like a maestro. Okay, Wonder Woman in voice gaming. Here we go. Let's talk about the stuff that we've been seeing. It's 2021, y'all. Lots of changes have been happening. Obviously, we've had a bit of a Paramount year last year with a lot of stuff happening and changed a lot of the landscape, just a tiny tad bit. So, our industry especially has been at the forefront of, we've gotten a lot of stuff done. Gaming has not stopped. In fact, it's sped through these years and become bigger than it already was. So with that being said, I want to ask you all, what recent changes in this industry are you happy about so far? And what would you like to see about what happens in the future? What are you pleased about the changes that you've seen most recently? And what would you like to see more of moving forward?
Representation. Yeah. Yep. Super happy with the levels of representation I'm seeing out there and I want more of it. And more access, just a wider playing field.
I think it's been so important to see all people represented. I love that, casting is really going in the direction of getting the people who are actually the ones, getting the LGBT community to tell their stories, to get, when I started, there was a lot of really bad accents because there wasn't a huge pool of us to choose from. And now it's great to both, I think, from an acting perspective and also a directing perspective, that you're getting people who it is their stories to tell. It is their, mother tongue or their mother countries. And so they have, these deep roots. And as actors, we're not worrying about, maybe necessarily falling out of an accent that we don't really do. I think to piggyback on that, for me, the it's not just the representation, which is exciting in and of itself. The particular stories that are being told are so much more complex and have been over the last few years, that it's no longer all about any one characteristic of someone being the entire focus of their story. It's no longer about the particular culture or about the particular
gender or about the particular sexual orientation. Everybody is a sum of these incredibly unique parts that make their story interesting. And so it's become even more inclusive than representative, because everybody can find a hero or a story that they can identify with on some level. It doesn't have to be necessarily, oh, she looks exactly like me, or she comes from my culture, or anything like that, so much as it can be any number of things. It can be emotional complexity. It can be particular plot points. It can be all sorts of things. I think the storytelling has really advanced tremendously. And games are now epic, long movies that the player gets to be a part of.
I love this. Yeah, it is a very exciting time in gaming. Gato, did you have anything to add, or
no? I feel like they've hit it all.
Yeah.
Well, there's one other thing though too that I'm really excited about, is that we're also starting to get scripts in advance from time to time.
Yeah.
So I feel like, we're doing less what I call the standing long jump, where you just drop in and jump as far as you can. So that's really exciting. I feel like we're starting to be able to make, as voice actors, we don't get the rehearsal time, we don't get the collaboration time, that you might get working on a play or starting up a television show, things like that. And I'm just so excited to be able to have some time with the script to be able to make deep decisions on who the character is, and I'm really thrilled that there's the value of that is starting to be recognized.
I feel like also the relationship between the actors and the developers has become closer in recent years. Like, I've definitely had more experiences where there is an active conversation going on, and and that the voice directors in sessions are so giving and so excited to try to really connect and figure out what the best way to pull the story out of a person is, rather than something that is prescriptive, or like you say, standing long jump situation where it's like, just go, give me 3 and go. And that's the fun part of this, is that collaboration where we're all getting to be a part of it, and that we're all cogs in the whole wheel together, rather than completely separate.
Yeah. And sometimes they even let us go to the companies, and we get to see people in their natural habitat doing the work, which is so incredible, because the more that I feel like I can talk about the process that goes on behind it, and give the love to the developers, the painters, the people who are like, not just the writers that we come into contact with, but the people who are doing all of the beautiful visuals and the music, the composing, the sound design, all that kind of stuff. I've only recently gotten to do that, and it has enriched my whole understanding of the process for everyone, as well as being able to speak more knowledgeably about it and talk about how great these things are, that everybody's putting all this blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
All these blood, sweat, and tears.
Connected to what Andra was saying about like getting to talk to the developers, or them caring to represent us properly. I think that sure, there were a lot of Latinos in video games, but they were always the drug dealers and the illegal immigrants. And, we auditioned for the prostitutes and the wives, or the mobster wives. And, that I think that now it's not that there is more representation, and that we are being, they are casting appropriately, but that they care to really do their research and do a positive portrayal of it. And I'm working on a video game now where I play a character of Hispanic descent, and they've cared to ask questions about my personal experience, so that it is more specific, and it isn't just like, well, they kind of are all the same, when we're like 26 different countries in Central and South America. So,
Or also, there was a time, and it still happens occasionally, I'm sad to say, but there was a time when they would just assume, oh, you're Indian, you know all the Indian things in all the Indian languages. And I'm like, let's have a moment about that, because that's not true. I speak Spanish better than any of those. So now they're actually bringing in experts to be the experts, so that we can do the job that we were asked to do.
You know what? I have a question for Jennifer. There was in the beginning of, was it this year, this past, or 2020? But you had the reaction on Twitter to the trailer, right? And I heard in another interview that you were unsure if to record your very real and authentic reaction and post it on Twitter. It's been a very long road, and I think it was absolutely valid. But why do you feel that you were hesitant in that space, in that moment?
Oh my God. Well, it was a super personal thing, and I was ugly crying like a baby. So that gave me a little hesitation. But I mean, what happened? I didn't expect it. It completely took me by surprise. And I didn't even really understand why I had the reaction I had until somebody on Twitter pointed out, they were like, this is what representation looks like. And I went, oh my God. Oh my God. Like I've been in this business for a while, and I've conditioned myself to accept a certain status quo and not to expect much outside of that, because to do so is to create an enormous amount of frustration and discontent, and those aren't productive states for me. So I've just put a cap on all that. And it's like, when all the things I really wanted to see happened that I never expected to happen, just number one, being seen, being represented, because all the marketing materials, most all of them, early on in the life of Mass Effect were broshep. There was a little bit of femshep, but it was not much until like when Mass Effect 3 came out and femshep was on the box. That was just like a huge moment. I was just over the moon with that. I, in fact, stood on a table at a GameStop at midnight and called out Casey Hudson, thanking him, and he was mortified. But it was. So when I saw that, yeah, something in my gut went, share this. And I was like, what? But I listened to my gut. I don't argue with it. But I was like, oh my God. And I took my phone. I was like, okay, I'm going to share this in my response. And this thing happened. And I think I'm glad I did, because it certainly gave permission for other people to ugly cry if they need to. And also it seemed to have touched a chord, which I'm happy about. That's cool. Yeah.
I feel like that was a good Wonder Woman moment for you. I feel like we're told, oh, don't show too emotion. I mean, I know we're getting a little bit more open with all of that stuff, but I thought that was a beautiful moment of like, hey, if I were a guy, would I hesitate on saying exactly how I feel or the moments that are coming up at this? I don't know. Maybe depends on the person, but
and also I think it yeah, and it opened up like I have to live in a certain amount of denial as a woman in the industry, who's been in the industry for a long time. I've been in this business since I was a teenager. And there's all kinds of conduct that I have just shoved under the table, just smiled through. And because you do, if you want to keep working, you're good to work with. End of conversation. And, nothing too crazy. You can smart enough to get yourself out of those situations. But to now be living in a time where it's different. Oh, it's amazing.
I feel like that was a great moment of that. Everything you're saying, it did feel like a capping, like just your cup runneth over. You're like, everything I've been holding on to, all the drops of water for over 2 decades. It's like, and I'm done.
Oh no, they're still here. There's more.
They're still here. There's more. Maybe we've lowered the cup a little bit. We've got a little bit more to fill.
Oh, it was substantial. Just because here's what I know. Like, and part of why we are the collective that we are is to shed more light on voice actors, on women in gaming, on underrepresented peoples and inclusion. And I know that there's going to come a time in the not too distant future when voice actors are seen and voice actors are respected, not just by fans, but by corporations as well. I know it's going to come. I may or may not be here to see it, but I will always own my piece of getting there. Always.
Yeah. Yeah. Moment, please.
And we see it. I'm not a gamer, but I see the response female gamers have when they come up to us and thank us and tell them they tell us how those characters have affected them. And so you've seen it from the inside gen, and I'm seeing it from the ones who play and go, I've tried to play for years, and all I have are male characters that I can play that I don't resonate with, and now they get it and they thank us for it. And I didn't create these characters, but we infuse them with life, and we see it with the gamers.
I know I have to tie this up, so I'm going to do a really quick lightning round. You all have given some gems, and I so appreciate your time and all of your super thoughtful answers and your energy. So I'm going to do a really quick lightning round in one sentence. Tell me, Anj, you don't have to be so scared.
I'm always scared. I'm just kidding.
Wonder Women in voice acting or in gaming mean to you? Wonder Women in gaming. What does that mean to you? One sentence. How do we culminate that? Courtney.
Me first.
Okay.
No, I'm ready. I'm ready. Here I go. It means being the pillar of support that everyone needs in the community. It means a rising tide, lifting all boats, helping other women in this business, but also just helping everyone and being an example of what collaboration can look like.
What she said. Can I just say that?
In your own way?
Very similarly. Climbing up the ladder, there is no ceiling. And reaching back down and pulling people up along with you to tell new and exciting stories and collaborate as much as possible. You know, bringing the collaboration together more and more and more, I think, is the big thing.
Good.
That wasn't a really good grammatical sentence.
No, but you know what? The feeling is all there, and that's what matters. I feel it here. Caro?
It means women that are so incredibly different. It means these characters that can be moms, these characters that can be nurses, these characters that they're not just sexy ladies running around with guns being badasses. We're all badasses in such a different way. And it can be soft and it can be nurturing and it can be sensual and it can be all of the things. So like encompassing this idea that it is way bigger than we can imagine.
Oh, I love it. Jennifer, close us out.
All right. What the Vox, Wonder Women in Gaming. Because we're here because it's time to change the world. We're linking arms because all boats rise together. No grand act of the universe is coming to do this for us. We are the ones we've been waiting for, and we're here and ready.
Got chills? Anybody else got chills from that lightning round? Thank you. Thank you so very much. And I can't.
Thank you.
My pleasure. This has been a joy, an absolute joy. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for your time. Thank you to E3. Thank you for everybody else. Amber, Chris, Brian, for making this happen today. Yes, thank you so much. Have a beautiful rest of your day, y'all. Wonder Woman in Gaming. Out. Let's do it.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Jennifer Hale, why do you insist on making me tear up all the time? God dang it, man.
Yeah.
Jennifer is saying, you know, she's contributed. She might not see us get. You're gonna see us get there to equality and all the things that you want, Jennifer. I mean, geez, Louise.
Yeah, she's
voice
great.
acting. Oh, I know. Yeah, exactly. Jennifer Hale, of course, FemShep. Right now, Rivet and Ratchet and Clank just crushing it as she does, and so did the rest of the panel, Courtney and everybody else. But Jennifer was on We Have Cool Friends over at Kind of Funny just this past pandemic, whenever the year was. I can't keep track.
I know,
and
right?
of course, like I've interviewed her so many times throughout my career, and she never fails to be such a source of inspiration. Her story and what she does, and I think part of that, of course, is tied to how much the characters, these voice actors, play, and how much those characters mean to us, Jackie.
Yeah, honestly, that was a really moving panel. Earlier we were talking about toxicity, and it's the internet, folks. Like, we see that negativity out there, but just hearing these women come together and talk about representation, talk about inclusion, and I think that last question there was Wonder Women in Gaming or something like that. That was really fun. Yeah. And I think Courtney said something about, being a pillar of support and uplifting each other. And I think that you were kind of touching on this earlier, but it's not just not being mean and not being bad. It's about being good and being loving as well. Actually, calling out negativity and being like, hey, can we be more positive here? Can we be more loving here? And being supportive of each other.
Yeah.
I think all of us can say that when you are hosting something, you feed on energy right away, right? And immediately I met both of you, and you were just both so loving and kind, and we were a team.
Still a way to
you could
explain
feel
we're
that
insane.
support. Well, a little bit of animosity here. No, I'm kidding. Not at all. Really, really great vibes. But for me, it was just you have a choice, right? You can be negative or you can be positive. And they were like, hey, let's support each other. Let's be good to each other. Let's be loving to each other. So no more fighting, you two.
Oh, no, that's definitely going to happen.
We fight the WWE way.
In the WWE way. In the WWE way. We put each other over, bury sometime. It's okay. But, one thing I do just want to highlight.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I almost fell over. I was like, we might have a problem. I'm okay. I'm okay. Sorry.
Well, you could use me as leverage. But something that I am just so happy to see is how much voice acting has taken such a role, like a center stage role, as it should have, you know, because there was like a point in time where, especially like animes and stuff, like you didn't know, like they didn't get credit to the voice actors, but now like voice acting, it's emerged in such a way where there's, you know, it's just top to bottom, man. Hey, Jennifer Hale, you took the Jennifer Hale gush session, so I do appreciate that. She's incredible. But yeah, it's wild to see how much this has improved and how it's only going to get better from here. The acting, the quality, the bar is being set so high for future generations to come.
100%, yeah, and I think that starts with game developers being able to take their craft seriously, be able to make compelling stories, then be able to cast compelling actors to be compelling characters. I think you look back to everything Naughty Dog's done, the original version of Telltale, with Walking Dead, and the way you saw Dave Fennoy flock to that, right? And you've seen people like Ashley Johnson become stars as voiceover artists, and now artists, actors, right? And don't even get me started on Troy Baker.
Oh yeah, Troy Baker doesn't deserve more love.
Outside of voice acting, of course, music is an important part of the games we love, creating intensity, drama, or even just a theme song you'll hum for the rest of your life. Thank you, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. So, who better to talk about music and gaming than the hosts of Rolling Stone on Twitch, Tia and John?
Hey everyone, I'm Tia Hill.
And I'm John Weigel, and we're the hosts of Rolling Stone on Twitch.
Yes, and welcome back to E3 2021. We're so happy that E3 is back this year, and we're really happy to be a part of it.
That's right, and you can see us anytime you want, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time on weekdays, Monday through Friday, where we talk about music news, have live performances, and have very special guests come in pretty much every day of the week.
Exactly, so definitely make sure you follow us on Rolling Stone on Twitch. And right now, we're going to do one of our favorite segments that we call a Dream Mixtape. So this is a segment, usually we have a guest come in, we give them about 10 different prompts, and then we put together a playlist that's available on our Spotify based on these prompts. But this is a very special Dream Mixtape in honor of E3 coming back, and we're doing a Dream video game mixtape.
That's right. If our channel was a video game, these are the songs that we feel would be the soundtrack to our video game.
Yes.
That we're currently in.
Exactly. And this would be the cover of the video game. If our channel were a video game, it is a drawing of John and I that we had on the channel.
It's a beautiful drawing. It is done by Ross Tran from Ross Draws on YouTube. He did a great job. He made us our different characters. He made Tia kind of this hacker kind of persona, and me this big old meathead with an axe or a guitar axe. So it's looking great, and that would be the cover of our video game.
Exactly.
If we had one, which we do now, theoretically.
Exactly. Well, we have the soundtrack for one at the very least. So starting off for the first track in the video game, probably the most important thing because it's the first thing you hear, the title screen.
Right. Right. This is like, you know, of course, when you start the game, like, you know, the Halo starting screen where you see all those ships flying everywhere and you hear the, oh.
Exactly.
That is kind of like what we're going for here. Maybe not the exact same song.
Yes.
But Tia, what song did you select for our title screen / press start screen?
So I picked Miss the Rage by Trippie Redd and Playboi Carti. Not only am I a huge Playboi Carti fan, but also this song, if you listen to it, the instrumental on this is really, really wild in terms of it's very electronic sounding. It feels like you're kind of in outer space or you're being transported through something. And I feel like that's the vibe that I wanted to bring to whatever this video game that we're making is. So I feel like this really captured something that would feel like you're being jetted into a video game universe. So I had to pick Miss the Rage.
Yeah, I think it's a great selection. It's very gamey, and you know, Tia, you've been going on for months to me about how you really, really like the instrumental for this track and have even just been bumping the regular instrumental. So I think that it would be a great fit. It's also very, again, very video gamey, very kind of synth driven, has that vibe to it. So I really dig that.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad that you like that one.
Yes. So, okay, now we're going to move on to the next one. And this one is a choose your character screen. And we've definitely all been there. I feel like I spend a lot of time in the character selection bay in like a Mortal Kombat.
I really like to take my time. And when I'm thinking specifically about time, I take my time. If I'm ever playing The Sims, you know I love The Sims, I will spend a good hour making my character.
That's like me in Super Smash Brothers. First of all, I can never pick the character because there are just too many now. There's just so many. And then when I'm going through to pick every one of them, I finally pick like freaking Captain Falcon like always. But then I'm like, okay, like let me like make him pink. So that takes an extra few minutes.
Exactly. Then when you're playing with other people, they're like, come on.
But anyways, what song, Tia, did you select for a choose your character screen?
I picked Tierra Whack Cable Guy because, like you were saying, it's you take your time when you're picking your character, and so this is a song that the song itself is only a minute long, but it's something that if you were to loop it over and over again, it's very unobtrusive. It's really smooth, it's really nice, and it calms you down enough so while you're making that, you know, important choice of which character you're trying to get, you're calm with the music in the background. So I thought this was a nice choice.
This the title of this song really makes me believe that Larry the Cable Guy would be a selectable character in whatever game that we're having.
Exactly.
Which would be very interesting.
Exactly. So what do we have next? The starting town.
Yes.
This is important.
Where you begin your journey.
Exactly. And this makes me think of Link again, my favorite.
Yes.
Or, you know, when you're playing Zelda and he's just like running around the town.
Oh,
and you're just
yeah.
like getting your bearings in any video game. Just
Yeah,
in
you're meeting
general.
up with the Koroks, you're having a good time.
Talking to the NPCs. Figuring out what's going on.
Trying to break some barrels for some rupees, for some sweet green rupees.
Exactly.
This is the song that you want to hear in your starting town. This was my selection.
Yes. So what did you pick here?
So I selected, this is Old Town Road by Lil Nas X. I feel like some people know this song out there, maybe just a few.
It's not that big though.
But specifically, when you take this song for a starting town, what I want it to do is loop. So you know that part in the song where it's just the chorus. It's like, take my horse and the Old Town Road, I wanna ride when I can no more. I want no verses. I want just a loop of that single chorus over and over and over again until the user gets super like annoyed and tries to leave town.
And tries to leave. That's exactly what you need to keep moving on through the rest of the video game. So honestly, that's a good choice.
And that's how I kick you out of town. That's how I kick you out of town. But the thing is, there are more Easter eggs that populate in the first town later in the game, so you got to go back. So you got to use your time real wisely.
That's how you get them. Is it the regular Old Town Road? It's not any kind of remix, right?
No, it's the regular Old Town Road. We're talking no Billy Ray Cyrus on the track,
No
just
Yodel.
Lil Nas X in his olden days on the Old Town
nice.
Road with you.
Good, good choice. Next, we have the loading screen. This is another one where I feel like it needs to be something relatively calm.
I felt that for the loading screen, this is the only track in this entire listing that I picked out from an actual video game.
Oh, yes.
This is from Celeste, the original soundtrack. It's called First Steps. It is, I believe, the second track off of the soundtrack. Celeste is a video game, and it's kind of like an 8-bit style song. It's very like 1980s, old style video game vibe.
That's perfect.
And that's what I really love about it. And I feel like for a loading screen in specific, it would work perfectly because you're waiting and you're hearing just a beautiful kind of, 8-bit lullaby tune to help you wait.
And then it makes you not irritated when things aren't loading at the appropriate time. So that's perfect.
Exactly.
You need something calm. That's nice. I like that. Well, next we have the in-game world music, which is really honestly some of the most important music because this is what you're going to be listening to probably the most throughout the entire game.
Most of the time. If you've been like in a lot of games too, there is a song. Sometimes songs vary by level in a lot of video games, but there are some games that a song persists through the entire game. And if it's going to be that way, like we're going to have it right now, it's got to be good. It's got to be something that I'm going to want to listen to and not mute my TV and turn on something else in the background.
That's very, very real. That is very, very real, which is why I chose a Glass Animals track, Tangerine. I feel like this song is well, first off, we had Dave Bailey from Glass Animals come on the show a few weeks back, but also this song is super immersive. This is from their album Dreamland, and a big thing that they wanted to do was make it feel like you're in a dream. So all of the songs really sound like you're being dropped into this world that they've created. And if you listen to Tangerine specifically, there are all these little sounds. There's like laughter in the background and all these different sound effects, which kind of remind me of when you're playing a video game and you just hear like, the pitter patter of the footsteps.
Indistinct chatter in the background and things like that.
And just things that really build the world and bring it to life and make you want to kind of live in that video game. So I felt like this was a good choice for something like that.
And I feel like the Dreamland idea really fits with the kind of aesthetic that we're building out for this game. Very like spacey 1980s Dreamland-esque. Like I remember I used to play on my Game Boy Advance Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland.
Oh my goodness.
Which is probably one of my favorite mobile games that I've ever had in my entire life. And that is like a perfect fit for this.
Oh, that
very
would be
dreamy,
perfect.
All of those wonderful stars
That
and
is a
clouds.
great one. Well, getting more intense after you've explored the whole world and you get to the final boss battle.
That is right. The final battle of the game.
Exactly. Here is our boss for our channel's video game, our super producer and moderator, Chris.
He is our final boss battle every day.
Exactly.
Look at him spin.
Exactly. Look at that.
Look at him rotate.
And I believe this was your choice, John. What did you pick?
That's right. So I figured for a final boss battle, you need a big epic feel. You need there to be a lot of different instrumentation. You need there to be an orchestra. You need guitars, distorted guitars. So I picked a band that I really love called Born of Osiris. The song is called The Machine. It is a great track, very epic feeling at the end of a game when you're about to win the game, about to finish it up. And this track starts out with a huge orchestra beginning to play, and it is lovely. It has strings throughout, it has distorted guitars throughout, sick breakdowns, sick solos. You're gonna love this when you're fighting the last boss.
I feel like a big orchestral track is exactly what you need for something like this. You need something intense, you need something big that's gonna make you feel like, oh my gosh, this is a moment in the game that I'm playing.
Exactly.
Perfect choice.
Make it feel huge. You're about to finish this game, make it feel huge.
Final boss. Speaking of finishing games and things being over.
Yes, if you fail to defeat Chris, our boss in combat, you will then fail the game and you will die, as most people in video games do. And when this happens, you kind of want and you have a title card at your game over screen as well. Like I feel like my favorite title card for a game over screen is usually Fire Emblem for Nintendo, when there's just a sword jammed into the ground and it looks like everybody's dead around you and it's horrific, terrible. So I figured I'd pick a song for this that fit that idea. So let's go to it. So it's a
great one.
If anybody knows Evanescence, this is Bring Me to Life. I feel like it's good in both lyric and concept, with death and being dead in a game. And again, the more you hear it, the more you die in the game, the less you'll want to be at the game over screen, and the more you'll want to restart the game and be brought back to life.
And that's perfect because lyrically it fits exactly with what's going on. So I feel like, lyrically the song also matches. This is a perfect choice, John.
Thank you very much.
This is a perfect choice. A1 with this one. Well, next we have the in-game radio track. So we've described there's a lot of different elements to this video game we're creating. I'm going to add this kind of GTA element because I'm picturing GTA radio when I think in-game radio track. And for GTA radio, I would pick future March Madness, if that's the vibe we're going for. It just seems like we have a car in this game all of a sudden. And so we're driving around doing our thing. And this is a great song to just kind of drive to. I'm also a big Future fan because it adds to this world that we're creating that is in space, but also has cars, but also we're fighting bosses.
Right,
There's a lot going on.
We're fighting our boss. Yeah, if you were to get into this car, and you were to you're tinkering around, you're like while driving this fictional car, you were like, oh, let me see what's on the radio, and you just accidentally hit the X button or something, and then just Future comes on. It'd be a nice surprise. It'd be a really fun surprise.
Exactly, it's like a nice little moment. So I thought I had to throw that in there.
The entirety of the game takes place in the month of March.
There we go. There we go. That's how it's relevant. That's a good one.
That's how it is. So next we have a song that sounds like how Mountain Dew tastes. And what we mean by this is a song that really gets you fueled for your game, a song that really makes you energetic and gives you that sugar rush that you need to get through the game with that green power that we can only associate with Mountain Dew.
Exactly. So what song did you pick for it?
So the song that I picked for this is a song by the band called Magic Sword. It's called In the Face of Evil, and Magic Sword is kind of a Daft Punk-esque band. They are all dressed up like Daft Punk. There are 3 of them, but they have a neon stripe that goes right around their eyes. Basically, they're kind of an 80s Tron-style synthwave, vaporwave group, and they make these songs that really, really inject, I feel like, a sugar rush into me every time I hear them, so that's why I picked them for this. Specifically, this song has a lot of arpeggiators, really harkens back to that 1980s old video game sound.
Love that.
Not exactly an 8-bit song, but it is a track that gets me really riled up and really excited to continue playing. So
that's perfect. That's a perfect choice.
And then now we move into minigame music, which is probably one of my favorite prompts that we selected because there are just so many possibilities.
There are so many possibilities. I think this is our last prompt as well, but when I think of minigame music and I think of minigames, I think of something that could be chaotic. There's a lot going on in the minigame, and clearly the game that we have created has many elements, so we don't even know what this minigame is going to be.
You finish this ridiculous game that we've created for you. You're done.
There's horses,
it's
there's
all
bosses.
over. Right, you've ridden your horse down the old town car. And the whole game has happened, and then you get back, and you're like, all right, what's the replay value? I'm going to play some mini games. And you got to pick a song in this that's going to be super erratic and fit any situation. And Tia, what song did you select for this?
Well, erratic is a perfect word because I picked by 100 Gex ringtone, it is the remix with Charlie XCX and Rico Nasty. This song just has a lot going on in it. It has a lot going on. There's a lot of different sounds. It is a hyperpop song, and it gets really, really intense. There's this break in the middle when Rico is kind of yelling and doing her thing, and there's so many different sonic elements to it, and I feel like whatever mini game we're playing, this matches it perfectly, no matter what the game. So had to pick a 100 Gex song for this.
I love the selection of 100 Gex because I feel like that also just fits a video game realm so well, that kind of hyper pop edge to it. And also, like, when you're in a mini game, you could be doing anything. We could I would say, I would gather that we have at least 5 mini games in our game.
Oh, absolutely.
All of them are each you're doing something completely ridiculous and completely different than the last one, I'm sure. Yeah.
Who even knows what it would be? The next video game soundtrack we do, we'll
one of the mini
those details.
Yeah, one of the mini games got to be like, you got to host the whole 2-hour stream. You just got to do the whole thing
in front of your console and just talk for 2 hours straight. No, that's perfect. That's perfect.
The chat's covered up too.
Exactly. You gotta like dodge things. So that's great. I love it.
So everybody, that was our mixtape. We had a really great time putting it together, and we have put a link for that mixtape and our other mixtapes in our link below on Spotify. If you also want to make any of your own custom mixtapes on Spotify, you can send us the link to the email address below.
Yes, we definitely want to hear from you all. And if you enjoyed this, you can follow us and check us out every day, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/rollingstone.
And you can catch us anytime, 24/7 on our Discord. We would like to just thank everybody for coming out, watching the show today, and enjoy your E3 2021 experience.
I appreciate really good character development. You're following a character and you really get to see how they grow, the adventures they go through, the turmoils that they have to go through as well, the obstacles and how much they just grow as a character, the relationships, and it really made me appreciate good character writing and character development, so which I definitely use in my other projects all the time.
篝火营地是中国领先的游戏媒体，创立于2018年，致力于为全世界的中文游戏玩家提供专业、精准、迅速的资讯情报。篝火营地立足于中国，与多家国际一流游戏媒体同行达成正式内容合作关系，源源不断地将最新鲜的游戏资讯第一时间带给全球中文游戏玩家。自成立以来，篝火营地在全网的内容浏览量已经超过5亿，服务了数百万的读者和玩家。我们的愿景是做游戏文化传播者。您可以在全球各大手机应用市场下载篝火营地 APP， 或者访问3w.gamebonfire.com 来加入游戏传播者的行列。
As a part of Play For All, GameSpot will be bringing you the latest gaming news and announcements, interviews with developers, the biggest press conferences, and lots more. Play For All is our yearly online event that combines the excitement and announcements of E3 with charity live streams the following week with lots of special guests who are going to help us raise money for able gamers. So join us in June for E3 and Play For All on GameSpot.com, YouTube.com/GameSpot, Twitch.tv/GameSpot, and as a part of the E3's official broadcast. See you then.
It probably isn't like realistic, but I love to be in Dragon Ball Z. You know what I'm saying? I know that's a whole, I know this, I'm not a saying, but like if I could be in Dragon Ball Z and just like fight with Goku or Vegeta or just be in that series, that'd be crazy to me. Like, that'd be crazy. I'll put myself in GTA, but more realistically speaking, probably like Grand Theft Auto or like Call of Duty, or you know, even a character in Fortnite, like something like that. I think that'd be dope.
Welcome back to E3 2021. We are having so much fun on day 3, and Capcom has so many great franchises, and one of the longest running is Monster Hunter. With a feature film and a sequel for the Switch, it's been a busy year for the property. The folks at Capcom sat down for an AMA with Reddit to talk about their newest release, Monster Hunter Rise. Ooh.
Hello Reddit, I'm Yuri from the Monster Hunter community team at Capcom USA.
モンスターハンターライズプロデューサーの辻本です。今回は Reddit に寄せられておりますコミュニティの皆様の質問にお答えしたいと思っております。
Last month, we collected a number of your questions and sent them to Monster Hunter Rise director Yasunori Chinose. Unfortunately, he was unable to record a video of his answers, but he gave them to me right here. I'll be delivering them to you on his behalf. All the newly added monsters are my favorite. If I were to choose one that I like the most, it would be Magna Malo. I've been working on Magna Malo for so long, and it took me a long time to complete it, so I have strong feelings about this monster. Initially, I wanted to create a tiger-shaped monster. However, the main planner came up with the idea of an armored warrior with a long spear, and the prototype of the current Magna Malo was born.
はい、明けのシルームです。理由はですね、僕すごく、雨男といいますか、すごくいろんなところ行ったら雨が降る、キャラでして、とても傘っていうのが、重要な僕の中でのアイテムになってますので、ぜひ雨降った時は明けのシルームに傘代わりになっていただきたいと思っておりますので、好きなモンスターにさせてもらいました。
Magna Malo does not feed only on fresh meat, but also on decomposed meat. It decomposes the meat in its body and produces a special gas which does not smell very good.
僕のはですね、鉄柱回転攻撃が、好きな技となっています。理由の方はですね、僕はハンマーを使ってるんですが、鉄柱回転攻撃ってすごくやっぱり、派手な攻撃でもありますし、すごい多段ヒットするので気持ちよさもあって、あと、距離もだいぶ詰めれますので、僕の中では結構ハンマーの中でかなり中心で使っている攻撃技となっています。
My favorite Silkbind move is Earthshaker. The damage from the first hit feels good, but the additional impact damage feels even better. You can enjoy the feeling twice with one attack.
はい、子供の頃にですね、怖かった妖怪っていうとですね、カッパという妖怪がいるんですけど、
It's Kappa for me. When I was younger, I saw a scene on TV where a man was dragged into a river by a kappa.
そのカッパという妖怪がですね、川とか、
And from that, I learned that it is dangerous to go near rivers.
池とかそういうところに潜んでてですね、結構その人をですね、水の中に引きずり込むみたいなことが言われてる、妖怪なので、子供の頃川とかにも遊びに行ったりとかもしてたんで、結構身近にいそうで怖そうな、妖怪です。
During development, I often played Hunting Horn and Heavy Bowgun. Hunting Horn was a weapon I've played in the past, but for Heavy Bowgun, I used the weapon to test out long-range distance.
はい、一番好きな武器はですね、ちょっとご存知の方もいるかもしれないですけど、僕はもうシリーズを通してずっとハンマーを使ってますので、もちろん今回もハンマーを使っております。で、ハンマーしか使ってませんので、ギルドカードの、武器の使用も、ハンマーのみが、ついている、仕様としてついている状況です。
My favorite armor is Bishaten. I love the light design and how it emphasizes mobility. It is inspired by the costumes of Japanese ascetic monks and mountain priests. My favorite skill is Horn Maestro.
はい、好きな装備はですね、僕はラージャンの装備が結構好きでして、その見た目的にも好きですし、結構、シリーズでラージャンの、防具が出ているときは絶対一度は作る、防具になっています。でスキルの方はですね、広域化っていうスキルを、結構つけることが多くて、周りの人にも自分の回復が影響するので、そういうなんか周りの人のちょっとでも手助けになるかなみたいなんで、そういうのスキルもつけてたりします。はい。はい、現状予定はありませんが、今後出てくる、タイトルとかで、世界観とかがあって、ガチャブが、登場する必要性があるときには出てくるかもしれませんね。
One day I was playing to check the game. I saw one of Yomogi's feline helpers lying on the ground. So I asked my team what was going on and was told that they were testing out a situation where the feline ate a bad dango that Yomogi made and collapsed. That was a good idea, but unfortunately it didn't make it into the final game. That's because while Yomogi was having an important conversation, the feline was unconscious. That didn't make sense, so we had to say no to the idea. I wanted an iconic scene that would be recognized as Monster Hunter Rise just by looking at the food scenes. I decided to use elements that were different from those used in the past, such as meat and fish. I personally love sweets, and since the theme for this game is Japanese, I decided to use Japanese sweets as motif. And who doesn't like sweets, right?
武器種の方はですね、やっぱり新しい武器を加えるとしてもですね、今まである14武器種とはやっぱり違う遊びっていうのをしっかり、提供できるような武器種である必要がありますので、今後については、そういうアイデアがもし出てきたら入れるかもわからないですし、ちょっとまだ今後のことなので、まだまだちょっとわからないですね。はい。はい、そうですね、複数のチームもそうですし、今やっぱりゲーム作るときってすごい、何百人が、関わってきますので、そういう、全体的にも、情報共有がしっかり取れるような、環境での開発を進めています。
Is the hammer?
I wrote that down
no
too.
Way.
I was like, I love it.
The wind up. I did 135 hours Monster Hunter World dual blades. That's where you get it. You get in there.
No, dual blades.
Just like that.
Dual blades for speed. 100%.
Nobody can.
But nothing feels so satisfying though when you get that hit with the hammer and it's so heavy and it's just
whoa. But then you get caught and it's there on top of you. It's just too slow.
Not fun.
I understand.
You gotta get in, you gotta get out.
But there's a certain. I agree with you, Jackie. There's like a certain kind of satisfaction when you finally get the wind up,
right in the feels,
and the hit, right out of the park.
Especially against the T-Rex.
Yeah, okay, well, it's not actually it's not officially a T-Rex, Jackie.
Okay,
I'm
sorry.
What? I'll let the internet and your YouTube comments correct you on that.
Oh no!
That was a great one. Thank you so much for that, Monster Hunter AMA, of course. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you have questions you want answered at E3 #E32021, you can get your comments on the little ticker that goes by. And of course, we're running polls throughout this. We've been running polls all day long about the old Capcom, because of course we are coming up pretty dang quick on the Capcom presentation. As a rundown again of what we know officially for Capcom. Of course, it's hosted by our friend Seltzer. Then we know we're going to get stuff on the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We're going to get stuff on Monster Hunter Rise. We're going to get stuff on Monster Hunter Stories 2. We're going to get Resident Evil Village. That is what they have officially said. Of course, I still hold out hope for more on Resident Evil 4 VR. I hope more on that Resident Evil multiplayer game.
Yeah.
And then if you really want to start dreaming, I know earlier you want to talk about Lost Planet, like that's going to happen.
Sorry, guys. I went down the rabbit hole. I don't want to get anyone's hopes up
hear it.
here, although it would be fantastic to have it. But let's focus on what we already know. I'm looking forward to seeing what Resident Evil Village content they're planning to bring to the table. Game's been a massive hit. I'm expecting them to come out, talk about that, and also maybe give us some new stuff.
Yeah. Jackie, what do you want?
Okay, so I am not super into puzzle mystery games, just being completely honest. But I mean, Ace Attorney just totally plays to me. Obviously, I'm a big weeb. I absolutely adore anime. So just seeing the protagonist being like, objection, like I'm just like, I am absolutely 100% here for it. Also, there's a character in there named Herlock Sholmes.
Of course.
I mean, that alone, I'm just like, I'm exactly. I was like, I love this, so I'm definitely here for it.
You have to pay anybody on
It's
that
so
one.
smart,
Yeah,
right?
exactly, Yeah, you'll be getting it, of course, Ace Attorney, the Chronicles here, the great Ace Attorney Chronicles, 2 games that were released in Japan, finally coming here on July 27th. And it's about time, ladies and gentlemen. This is what you've been waiting for, all right? The Capcom presentation is starting in 5, 4, 3,
Good countdown.
2, 1, go. Go do Capcom.
Welcome to the Capcom E3 Showcase. I'm your host, Rachel Querico, aka Seltzer, and I'll be your guide as we walk through the latest releases, news, and updates from Capcom. We'll hear from the Resident Evil Village team, share some news from the world of Monster Hunter, and get the latest on Ace Attorney. Then we'll wrap up with some updates from our friends at Capcom Fighters. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. Our first stop today, Resident Evil Village. The Resident Evil franchise continues to pioneer the latest and greatest in survival horror. The team has been blown away by the response to Resident Evil Village, which launched last month. It brought the world another chapter in this decades-long story as the franchise celebrates its 25th anniversary this year. I'm honored to be able to introduce Tsuyoshi Kanda, producer on Resident Evil Village, with a special message for the fans.
Another time.
Bye-bye.
There's nothing to fear. Where's Rose? She's everything to me. I think it's time you left things in my hands. Go on, rest now.
Hi everyone, my name is Tsuyoshi Kanda, producer on Resident Evil Village. I wanted to take this opportunity to thank everyone who's played since we launched the game in May. We hope you're enjoying this new chapter in survival horror. As a reminder, everyone who purchases Resident Evil Village will gain free access to our online multiplayer title, Resident Evil Re:Verse, where players go head-to-head with their favorite Resident Evil heroes and bioweapons. I'm now happy to announce that Resident Evil Re:Verse will go live next month across all supported platforms. So head into the fray to celebrate the Resident Evil 25th anniversary.
Thank you, Kanda-san, for that wonderful update. Next up, some long-awaited news from the world of Monster Hunter. Whether it's adventuring alongside monsters or battling them with friends, we've got something for you. First, let's dive into the brand new story-based RPG entry to the series, Monster Hunter Stories 2: Wings of Ruin.
this was his fate. Red may have been strong and skilled, but against the awesome power of nature, he was merely a man. He never stood a chance.
All around, things just kept getting worse. But I heard that Guardian Ratha had survived and returned to Hekolu Island. I went there to see Red's old monster again. Then, of course, that's when I met you.
You were given Red's kinship stone, and now a Rathalos egg. This is destiny.
This is the legendary monster, Ray's Wing Ratha, the monster with the wings of ruin.
It's said that a beat of its wings can bring about waves of destruction.
Many people believe there's a connection between the strange happenings and the wings of ruin. The pits are appearing everywhere, and they're emitting a strange light.
What's this whole idea of forming kinship with monsters? How do you control them?
It's not about control. Monsters help riders of their own will. And the bonds between monsters and riders are just like your bond with Tsukino.
What kind of power does Ratha really have? Why are all of these pits appearing? And who are those people who want to take Ratha for themselves? All I have are questions.
If there's worry or doubt in your voice, Ratha will become anxious too. He needs to know that you will protect him no matter what.
I can sense the flames of his life force weakening. The burden of such great power is too much for his body to bear.
A voice. Can you hear it?
Riders can bond with monsters. Surely you can groove with fellow humans.
They have the power of kinship. They're friends, they're monsties. Humans carry the strength of everyone they meet. That makes them strong. My friends here taught me that. I believe in the strength of humanity.
Looks pretty epic, right? And how about that announcement? The canine companion Palamute from Monster Hunter Rise will be joining Monster Hunter Stories 2 as one of the new monsties in the first free title update coming soon after the game's release. You can get an early peek at the game with the Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin trial version starting on June 25th, which also carries your progress over to the full game release just a few weeks later on July 9th. That's not the only way to join the hunt. Millions of you made Monster Hunter Rise a huge success earlier this year, and we have even more content coming, including a new collaboration on the Rise. Let's find out more.
Let's go!
This is for my fellow hunters!
Rathalos is no runt. Moon's blessing emerge. Get ready. I have a good feeling. What will it be? Moon's blessing emerge.
Tamura is like my second home.
You think you can take on Rondine?
There has never been a better time to be a Monster Hunter fan, with all the new updates to Monster Hunter Rise and the launch of Monster Hunter Stories 2 this summer. We can't wait to hear about your own stories of adventure. Well, that's not the only thing Capcom has in store for us this July. Fans of Phoenix Wright will have new chapters to explore with the release of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. North American and European future attorneys will finally be able to get their hands on the Great Ace Attorney Adventures and the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve, which were previously only available in Japan. You'll travel back in time to the late 19th century Japan and London to play as Ryunosuke Naruhodo, Phoenix Wright's ancestor, in this action-packed prequel. Now, let's hear more about the story.
So then, let us unravel this mystery.
Welcome to the center of the world. Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
This country is incredible. I will become a lawyer. I have to.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. Who are you? Herlock Shows. You must have heard of me.
We must solve this case, Naruhodo-san.
Let us engage in the art of deduction, Mr. Naruhodo. Well, what have we here? It would seem the truth is now tantalizingly close.
The defense demands its right to a cross-examination. Objection! Your testimony completely contradicts the facts.
Objection! My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage!
You're the best lawyer in the world.
So we have 10 new cases and 8 mini escapades where you can take on the role of a defense attorney. Now, we all want to see some gameplay, right? Let's take a closer first look at 2 gameplay features new to the franchise in the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles: Dance of Deduction and Summation Examination.
Hello, I'm Jonathan, Capcom's marketing brand manager for the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles.
So this is the capital of Great Britain.
Where to?
The Supreme Court in Whitehall, if you wouldn't mind.
The Capcom team is thrilled to present 2 new gameplay features, Dance of Deduction and Summation Examination, coming to the Ace Attorney series.
While investigating to prove your client's innocence, players will come across conspicuous situations that require further examination with the help of Ryunosuke's legal aid Susato and the brilliance of deduction from Detective Herlock. Herlock will proceed to present his logic and reasoning spectacular, a grandiose yet flawed series of conjectures.
Ryunosuke and Susato will then discuss to correct the flaws in Herlock's deductions. At this point, players will be prompted to search for clues that help identify the errors in the detective's logic and reveal the truth to the mystery. As players present new evidence and observations, Herlock will amend his deductions based on the new information. Upon uncovering the truth, Ryunosuke and Herlock enter into a semi-metaphorical, semi-literal dance that brings them to the conclusion of the dance of deduction.
In courtroom battles, players will attempt to convince 6 jurors of the innocence of their client. Their progress will be displayed and represented by 2 scales of justice, one black, representing a guilty verdict, and one white, representing a not guilty verdict.
Objection!
In summation examination, take the stand to face off against the jurors, all of whom provide explanations as to why they've reached their guilty verdict.
You'll have to identify conflicting statements and sway the jury in your favor. Examine each statement carefully and select 2 contradicting jurors to call out the flaws in their logic.
Objection!
Be ready to provide evidence from the court record to help prove the contradiction in their claims. When you successfully point out one of these contradictions among the jurors, you might just change their minds, too. With a slam of their fist, each juror you persuade will send a fiery ball towards the scales above and literally tip the scales of justice in your favor. Bring each contradiction to light and persuade the jury to help prove your client's innocence.
Objection! My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage!
This has just been a small taste of the exciting new gameplay features in the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We are very excited to get this game in the hands of both new fans and diehard fans alike. Thanks for watching.
It already seems like I have a bunch of games to catch up on. There are some exciting new adventures and titles to look forward to. Well, that's a look at the new premieres from Capcom, but what about esports? Let's close out today's showcase with a few words from two of the stars of Capcom Fighters, Rob TV and Vicious. They'll tell us what's been going on with Capcom esports, including updates on the Capcom Pro Tour, Intel World Open, Street Fighter League, and all the other content on Capcom Fighters. Over to you guys.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Capcom esports presentation for E3 2021. My name is Vicious, commentator for the Capcom Pro Tour as well as Street Fighter League, here with competitive Street Fighter V player and host extraordinaire, Hollywood, Rob TV. What's going on, Rob?
Oh my goodness, Vicious. Host extraordinaire. That just sounds beautiful. It has a ring to it, and I think that's the perfect word to describe what we have for everyone today. Street Fighter V, Capcom E3, it just feels right, and you feel the electricity in the air. Nice! Nice! What? That was nasty! And there might be some people at home, Vicious, who don't fully know what competitive Street Fighter V is. The long and the short of it is this. We travel all around the world, state to state, country to country, and we try to bring our opponent's life bar from 100 all the way down to 0 and feel pretty goddamn good doing it.
That's right, Rob. If you think you're the best in your region, sign up for Capcom Pro Tour to prove it and become possibly a world champion at Street Fighter V.
The double perfect, the way he looked at the camera. Yikes. Don't ever expect another man's controller.
So in this year's CPT overall, it's a series of tournaments that have $5,000 on the line for each tournament, but that money alone, that's not what's really at stake here. It's about making it to the granddaddy of them all, Capcom Cup.
Item just reset in grand finals of Capcom Cup.
So behind me, you can see in all of its glory, the Capcom Pro Tour 2021 official stage and set, and that's a place that you are very, very familiar with.
That's right, we take all of our events and broadcast it live from this stage, and we check out all of the top competitors from each and every one of these regions. And speaking of, the Capcom Pro Tour has shaped up a lot. 2021, we have 32 events going on in the Capcom Pro Tour, spanning across 19 different territories. So there's so many opportunities for players from around the world to get that ticket into Capcom Cup this season. I'm absolutely excited because, again, that is a big change from what 2020 was into what we could expect for 2021.
And Mago is your first qualifier for Japan for the Capcom Pro Tour.
Not only can you catch the Capcom Pro Tour live on the Capcom Fighters channel, you can do so on a plethora of platforms. We have it on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Of course, if you don't catch it live, you can also check out the VODs for all the competitive studying you would need to become a successful Street Fighter V player, as well as catching some of the community-focused content that we have on Capcom Fighters. We have No Neutral, the official pre-show of the Capcom Pro Tour. We have sets where we take players from around the world and play off in an exhibition first to 10. Not only that, actually, we do have Street Fighter League that's happened season after season, non-stop action. 6 teams of 3 duke it out in this battle tournament series to see who will walk away with the championship and the $150,000 prize pool.
Street Fighter League is something that you don't want to miss because normally we only have 1v1 content, but now you actually have your teammates at your back, and every decision that you make is not just about you anymore.
Look for more news on Street Fighter League later this year.
It's Oki time. What's gonna happen?
Nice.
He checks it. He checks the movement. What's happening? It's so good.
Let's not forget, the Intel World Opening is happening right now. Top players representing 11 regions around the world are competing for their place in the World Finals happening next month. Be sure to check out the official website for more information, including current standings and broadcast schedule.
To commemorate this event, everyone who logged in during this period will receive an exclusive competitor title and dojo object. You do not want to miss this.
I highly recommend everyone to stay tuned for future Capcom Pro Tour updates on the Capcom Fighters channel.
And again, we've had so many events so far. We started off with the Japan region. We've had a couple of more events going on afterwards, but the action does not stop. In fact, we're going to be continuing off with the Midwest region for the Capcom Pro Tour. I know you're definitely excited about that.
100%. I mean, of course, your boy is from Ohio. Make sure you guys tune in to see the tournament.
You do not want to miss some of the best Street Fighter V players in the world compete head-to-head.
So it's you. I dare you to find better Street Fighter. I dare you.
This is a game about being a world warrior.
Capcom College Tournament play.
Obviously, they got a rivalry.
I'm the best in the world.
This game has changed the lives of so many people here.
Ooh, nice.
The pop-off. That's what I'm talking about.
I told you it's gonna go to the limit, and I ain't lying to the beat.
This is the ultimate Street Fighter V experience. This is Capcom Pro Tour.
Thanks, guys. It's been a really exciting season so far, and I can't wait to see how this plays out on the road to Capcom Cup. Remember to check out Capcom Fighters' Twitch and YouTube channels for more information and to watch the latest matches. So that's a wrap for Capcom at E3 this year. Let's recap what we all saw. Resident Evil Village is back with the latest installment of the survival horror experience and RE-Verse as part of the franchise's 25th anniversary. We have new adventures to embark on in the world of Monster Hunter with Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin, and Monster Hunter Rise. And don't forget to go back in time with the great Ace Attorney Chronicles to tap into the family history of Phoenix Wright and solve new cases. Finally, don't miss out on the esports fun. Make sure you catch the latest matches with Capcom Fighters. There really is something for everyone here today. But don't go anywhere yet. Join the conversation on Twitter and make sure you check out the Capcom virtual booth on the E3 portal to watch all these videos again and more. I'm Rachel Querico, aka Seltzer. Thank you for being part of the Capcom experience at E3 this year.
Welcome back, and that is a wrap on Capcom's presentation. I thought that rhymed for a second, and then I was gonna go, that rhymed, and then I was like, that didn't rhyme.
I love seeing the wheel. I saw the
You
gears
saw the
turn,
wheels
like,
turning!
no, that's not.
I was like, that doesn't rhyme at all. It's just day 3, and I'm just feeling it, folks. I'm feeling it, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I understand.
Not gonna lie though, that certainly got me amped. We saw a lot of great titles there, and we're gonna go into more depth about Great Ace Attorney Chronicles and all the stuff that we saw dropped with Resident Evil, but we wanted to focus on Monster Hunter a little bit more here. Without a doubt, I am absolutely hyped for Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin. That was a new trailer that we saw, and that one got me in the feels.
It's the one where, and I think I saw this on the internet, correct me if I'm wrong, everybody, but the first use of monsties, it seems like people weren't familiar with the term monsties, and now we all are. So hashtag monsties, get it out there right now.
I am all for that hashtag, yeah. But for me, when it comes to these narrative stories, the story has to be good, you know what I mean? And it's hard to tell with these game trailers sometimes. Like, I'll be like, okay, this gameplay looks fantastic, or the animation is there, but am I gonna get into this story? And somehow this trailer conveyed that. I think for me, what stood out was hearing, I think it was Michael's new crush. She's like, I love white-haired girls with red eyes. He like lit up as soon as
that sounds
that
like
lovely
Michael.
little lady came up on the screen. But I think she was like telling the protagonist something like, you know, this monster can sense fear. It can sense anxiety.
This
Monsty. I'm sorry. I apologize.
It's gonna be hard.
Even
It's been
just
years
said
of
the
saying
hashtag.
monster. Why they didn't change the name to Monsty Hunter? I don't know.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I mean, Monsty Hunter. I like that too. But anyway, yeah, like that resonated with me because I think that you know, we all have that challenge, right? We all deal
sure.
with anxiety, we all deal with fear, and we kind of have that monster within us that we're always battling, right? So that sounded so cheesy, but it definitely connected with me.
No,
like,
I understand. And like for me personally, again, somebody who does love the core Monster Hunter series,
Yeah.
I didn't give Monster Hunter Stories 1 really a chance.
Yeah.
And so seeing this trailer for it and being like, oh man, this plays a lot more like an anime than it does a Monster Hunter,
Yes.
right? That's interesting. And it is interesting to see that world, the mechanics we know, and not mechanics, I guess, but in terms of, you know, what weapons you're using, what monsters you're seeing, what the world building techniques are and how they're using it in a different story. I'm with you that the trailer actually looked interesting, where I'm like, oh man, I must not have given the first one a shot.
I just think that sometimes, you know, these trailers, they go so hard with being like, look at all the action, look at how cool this is, and like, here's these awesome visuals, and I felt like they were like, no, like, this has a lot of heart to it.
Yeah.
So I
There
definitely...
was very little gameplay in it to be at all, right?
Truly,
When
yeah.
they finally got to a battle, I was like, oh, this is what battle even looks like. I didn't realize that's how it was going to shake out.
Yeah, they definitely laid heavy on the cinematics. Also, you know, we were talking a little bit about Monster Hunter Rise.
Of course.
And I mean, man, they have a ton of stuff dropping through June and July. Like
Well,
all
yeah,
these
they have that mixed in
collaborations.
for stories too, right? Like
Yeah.
they had all this different stuff in there. They had a
Yeah.
whole Monster Hunter block there, and I feel like we didn't even scratch the surface of it.
Not even, yeah.
We will. There's still much more to talk about on Capcom, but yeah, Monster Hunter Stories 2 did grab my attention. July 9th, of course, but then the trial June 25th, so you can try it before you buy. Get it out there and get it that way. Which, of course, this has been the E3 of demos, if you ask me. We're gonna have a ton more reaction to Capcom and what we thought, but first, we've got some news from the folks at Razer. Take a look.
Welcome to the Razer keynote at E3, the world's biggest video games convention. We have got an insane show for everyone today. We have come a long way here together, for gamers, by gamers, and today we're one of the biggest gaming brands in the world. We span hundreds of millions of gamers, from PC gaming to console gaming to mobile gaming. But what I'd like to talk a little bit about today, to kick things off, is PC gaming, something near, dear, close to my heart, and pretty much to talk about the decade of the Razer Blade. So in 2011, we launched the world's first true gaming laptop. And this caused quite a bit of controversy back then because gaming laptops were not gaming laptops in the true sense of the word. They were gaming luggables back in the day. Super thick, super heavy. And the Razer Blade was the first true gaming laptop in the sense it was super thin, super light, and super powerful. And it ushered in a new generation of gaming laptops. And since then, over the past 10 years, the entire industry has moved to follow in the footsteps of the Razer Blade. In 2013, we launched the world's thinnest gaming laptop. 2016, we invented the world's first Thunderbolt 3 external GPU. In 2018, we launched the world's smallest 15-inch gaming laptop. And since then, we've now got the entire Razer Blade family. We've got the Blade Stealth 13, we've got the Blade Pro 17, and of course, we've got the Blade 15. And the Razer Blade has been both a critical and commercial success. It's been called the very best gaming laptop in the world and continues to win accolades over and over again. And at this point, many of our fans, many of the Razer community is asking, what's next? So we go down and we talk to every single one of our fan base, for gamers, by gamers, we talk to the press. And one thing that we've heard consistently over the past couple of years is, when is Razer going to make an AMD gaming laptop? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm incredibly excited to be able to announce that we're now working closely together with AMD, and we've put the very best designers and engineers together with the top AMD engineers, and what we've created in a single line is the ultimate AMD gaming laptop. And with that, we are bringing back the legendary Razer Blade 14. How do we do this? How do we make the ultimate AMD gaming laptop? Well, we took a look at the 14-inch gaming laptops today. Now, many of them have tried to follow in the footsteps of the Blade 14 that we created some 10 years ago, and many things have changed since then. In terms of form factor, many of the gaming laptops out there are portable, but we feel they could be thinner, could be slimmer. Now, over and above, in terms of GPUs, there's been not much innovation. Don't get me wrong, they've got a great GPU in there, but they max out at a RTX 3060. In fact, in terms of total graphics power, or TGP, they max out at just 80 watts. And we feel it could go much higher with, of course, the right materials and with, of course, the right cooling thermal solutions. Now, as we talk about materials, unfortunately, most of them still use really non-premium builds. Now, one thing that we do at Razer that all of you are familiar with is that we look at doing really premium builds. We've got CNC'd machined chassis. We want to make sure that you've got the best possible no flex kind of a chassis, but many of the ones out there don't have that. And of course, cooling. Many of the 14-inch gaming laptops are still using solutions that we pioneered some 10 years ago. At Razer, we've really pushed it ahead. We've had vapor chamber cooling for years now. We are in the next generation of that. We've done that for laptops. We've done that for phones over and over. Now, in terms of having all this last-gen tech, many of them are still limited in terms of the ports that they've got. They've got only a couple of Type A ports, a couple of Type C ports, so on and so forth. And they've got truly uninspired keyboards. They're using single-color backlit keyboards. Why? Because they don't have space or they don't have the imagination. But at Razer, we've got loads and loads of imagination. And what do we want to imagine? Well, a whole lot of ultras. Ultra what? Well, ultra powerful. We want it to be ultra powerful. We want it to be ultra thin. We want it to be ultra fast. We want to have ultra connectivity. We want it to be ultra responsive. And of course, ultra immersive. That's a lot of ultras to make the ultimate AMD gaming laptop. But let's talk about how ultra powerful the new Razer Blade 14 is. Now, together with AMD and Razer, we have designed and engineered in a single line the world's most powerful 14-inch gaming laptop. This is not any normal gaming laptop that we're talking about. We're talking about the world's most powerful 14-inch gaming laptop. And to this end, we wanted to pick one of the most powerful CPUs on the planet today, and we've picked the AMD Ryzen 5900HX. This is truly an incredible CPU. We are talking about a HX class, an extreme class AMD processor, and it's an unlocked processor. Unlike many of the other laptops out there using the HS class processors, we are using a HX class unlocked processor, a Zen 3 mobile processor in a cutting-edge 7-nanometer level. It's an 8-core x86 CPU, and it's got an up to a whopping 4.6 gigahertz of power. This is an insanely great CPU. And joining me here today talking about this partnership to make the ultimate AMD gaming laptop is Jason Banta, VP of Product Management of AMD.
Razer is known for some of the most innovative gaming laptops in the industry. Razer has established a design, quality, and performance standard that is second to none. That's why we at AMD are excited to partner with Razer for the first time, bringing Ryzen, the world's best mobile gaming processors, to the Razer laptop lineup. Engineers from both companies partnered together, start to finish, to bring the best components, the best performance, and the best experience together in the new Razer Blade 14. The new Blade 14 features an unlocked Ryzen 9 5900HX processor, enabling elite gaming performance on a thin and light notebook with amazing battery life. The 5900HX delivers 8 cores and 16 threads of Zen 3 core performance. A max boost clock of up to 4.6 gigahertz quickly dispatches workloads reduces latency when gaming, and performs 3D renders at breakneck speeds. The 5900HX also doubles the L3 cache size compared to the 4000 series. This massive on-chip memory is vital to unlock the full performance of discrete graphics for gaming. And all of this is based on 7nm process technology. The AMD Ryzen 9 HX series was designed to deliver the most immersive gaming experience you can get in a laptop with zero compromises. From all of us at AMD, congratulations to Min and the entire Razer team for outstanding execution on this project. We're proud to be a part of this generation of Razer Blade laptops and look forward to expanding these opportunities for gamers in the future.
Thank you very much, Jason. So that was Jason of AMD talking about our partnership. But the CPU, of course, while we've picked one of the most powerful in the world, is just half the equation. What's on the other half of the equation? Well, the GPU. We've picked one of the most powerful CPUs in the world, and we've also picked one of the most powerful GPUs. And we're talking, of course, about the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 30 series. Now, our engineers and NVIDIA, we've been working together for many years. We've been optimizing it. We've got the best GPUs in the world with NVIDIA. They've got up to 8 gigs of VRAM. And one thing that we did is that we've managed to push the total gaming power up to 100 watts of power. We're not talking about the 80 watts that everyone else is doing. We've pushed it all the way to the limit, up to 100 watts of TGP, and in something as small and thin as a 14-inch form factor. Now, of course, we start with the RTX 3060. It's a great GPU. That's what everybody else is also using, but we wanted to start with that. Now, over and above, our thermals guys said, you know, we're crazy at Razer. We're the mad scientists. We can take it a notch further. So what have we done? Well, in the new Razer Blade 14, we've got an RTX 3070 option. That's a truly powerful GPU matched with a truly powerful CPU. But we're Razer. We want to take it up to 11. We are going all the way up to the moon. And what we've done with the new Razer Blade 14 is that we have now added as an option a crazy and insane RTX 3080. Imagine that, the most powerful GPU on the planet with one of the most powerful CPUs on the planet. It's truly, truly powerful. And of course, joining me here on screen today from NVIDIA to talk about how we've put this crazy RTX 3080 into an ultra-thin form factor of the new Razer Blade 14 is Matt, VP, Global GeForce Marketing at NVIDIA, on screen.
Thanks, Min, for inviting us to present at your event. Once again, we're excited to partner with Razer on the development and launch of a Blade laptop. This time, the all-new Blade 14 powered by GeForce RTX. For the first time, gamers can experience an RTX 3070 and 3080 laptop GPU in a 14-inch form factor. It packs incredible performance in an ultra-thin, sleek design. Wherever you go, you can play the most stunning and graphically demanding games because the RTX 30 series includes second-gen RT cores that enable fast ray tracing. Enjoy realistic lighting, reflections, shadows, ambient occlusion, and more. All of those make your games more immersive. Ray tracing is featured in many of today's most popular games. NVIDIA DLSS also has been widely adopted by games. Many refer to it as magical. DLSS provides a huge boost to performance using AI rendering and looks as good or better than traditional methods. Dedicated tensor cores built into the RTX GPU do the AI processing. Now, in addition to the high frame rates pumped out by the GeForce GPU, NVIDIA Reflex low latency technologies give gamers the competitive edge in their favorite games. NVIDIA Reflex is now supported in 7 of the top 10 competitive shooters. But we're talking about laptops, so efficient power usage is incredibly important to making gaming laptops as thin and cool and quiet as possible. That's where our Max-Q technologies come in. Every aspect of the laptop, the GPU, software, PCB design, power delivery, and thermals are all optimized for power and performance. With the help of AI, high-performance gaming laptops are faster and better than ever before. Let me give you an example. Dynamic Boost 2. It automatically distributes the power across the GPU memory, and the CPU for maximum performance, whether you're gaming or creating. We can't wait for gamers and creators to experience the incredible power and the portability of the new Razer Blade 14. Min, thank you for your great partnership.
Thank you very much, Matt. And that is the ultimate AMD gaming laptop, ultra powerful, and we just talked about it. But we've not just got true power. It's not just the world's most powerful 14-inch gaming laptop. Let's talk a little bit about how it's ultra thin. Now, how thin have we gotten it? Well, it's not just ultra thin. It is the world's thinnest 14-inch gaming laptop. Let it sink in. Think about it. I just said this is the world's most powerful 14-inch gaming laptop, and now I'm actually saying it's also the world's thinnest 14-inch gaming laptop. We are talking about 16.8 millimeters thin with a 3080. Mind you, it's 0.66 inches thin. And the reason for it is because for the past 10 years, we've been bringing together the very best thermals engineers on the planet. They've got all kinds of innovative solutions. They've been pushing the limits. And what we've got over here in the Razer Blade 14 is the next generation vapor chambers. And we've designed this from ground up. We are light years ahead of the competition. Many of them are still copying what we've done 10 years ago. And today we're 10 years ahead. We're a full decade ahead. We've designed the next generation vapor chambers in the Blade 14. Each of these tiny little fans have got 88 fan blades. And we worked with fluid dynamics scientists. We made sure that every fan blade was designed from the ground up. 88 fan blades. What does that mean? Every single fan blade in our fans is about 0.1 millimeters thin. We have designed fan blades the width of a human hair. In addition, of course, we are using T6 grade aluminum CNC chassis. You've got to kind of touch it to believe it. You've got to understand that's what a Razer Blade is about, that premium quality. And of course, that super durable anodized finish. Ultra thin, the world's thinnest 14-inch gaming laptop. So let's talk about how fast it is. Ultra fast. We've got the fastest 14-inch display. We've got two options. We've got a FHD 144 Hertz, and we've got a QHD at a blazing fast 165 Hertz. It's 100% DCI P3 display, IPS grade. It's AMD FreeSync Premium, and every single display is custom calibrated right out of the factory. Ultra fast. Now let's talk about connectivity really quickly. Ultra connectivity, lots and lots and lots and lots of ports. We're talking about Wi-Fi 6E. We've got Bluetooth 5.2. Now, some of the gaming laptops, or the 14-inch gaming laptops, don't even have space to put a camera there. Webcam, it's a Windows Hello. Lots of ports. We've got, on one end of the chassis, we've got a Type A, we've got a Type C Gen 2. The Type C, is Gen 2 charging. It's got a display port. In addition to that, we've got HDMI 2.1, which has an output of 4K, 120 Hertz. Now, on the other end, we've also got another Type A, another Type C. We've got lots and lots of ports. Ultra connectivity. Let's talk about how responsive it is. Ultra responsive. It's got a full anti-ghosted keyboard. We've pioneered this many, many years ago. Now, one of the things I'm really proud of is how buttery smooth. This is like melted butter. The Precision touchpad is. It's a beautiful touchpad. You've got to touch it to believe it. And unlike all the other inspired keyboards, we've got a per-key Razer Chroma RGB keyboard. It's a fantastic keyboard. It's an incredible keyboard. It's got a beautiful key travel. You got to try it to believe it. This is a legend by itself. It's ultra responsive. And now let's talk a little bit about how immersive the new Blade 14 is. And what we've got incorporated inside this is THX spatial audio, giving that beautiful spatial surround sound all around you. And of course, we're using it with upward firing speakers. That's a truly, truly great set of speakers. And at this point of time, I'm sure most of you guys watching, some of you guys may be skeptical. We've made it so powerful. We've made it so thin. We've packed it chock full of all kinds of features. This is like a laptop, which is 10 years in the future. What have we compromised? And at Razer, we do not compromise. You'll know it if you own one of our Blade laptops. We do not compromise. And some of you may suspect we may have put a really tiny battery in there. Absolutely not. Because on a single charge, the Blade 14 runs for up to 12 hours. That's an insane level of battery life in the Blade 14. Now, the team has put together a video, a quick ad to kind of show it to everyone. I'm sure you're excited to see it. And let's show it for everyone. Here you go.
Yeah, this is what I'm made of. This is for the throne and the kingdom. The king's here, yelling freedom. Do or die, do it now if you believe it. You reap what you sow every season. Yeah, you kill what you eat when you feasting. Yeah, it's death before the sign of no treason. No, in that time of war, no retreat. Never lay down and die on my feet. I look the reaper in his eyes and won't blink. I'm the voice every time that I speak. It's like thunder when it strikes. I'm the king. I'm the king. I am supreme. I am king.
And at this point of time, I'm sure all of you would like to see the actual real thing. This is not a figment of my imagination. This is not a figment of the imagination of a gamer out there. But here it is, the legendary Razer Blade 14, back in flesh or back in CNC aluminum. You can see it's ultra, ultra thin. Imagine that we've got a HX class CPU in there. We've got a 5900 Ryzen, of course. We've also got a 3080 NVIDIA GeForce GPU, all in an ultra thin 16.8 millimeter form factor. It's super, super thin. All right, I'm sure you guys would like to see the display. This is a 165 Hertz display. As you can see, it's just truly, truly beautiful. And yes, there is a webcam. All right? So check it out. And it just sounds beautiful. So, this is the new Blade 14. It's so compact, packing a 3080. Imagine that. And really quickly, to take us through this is the world's most powerful 14-inch gaming laptop. It's ultra powerful. It's ultra thin. It's the world's thinnest 14-inch gaming laptop. Just imagine I'm saying that at the same time. Ultra fast. It's got ultra connectivity. Look at all the ports on both ends. It's got an ultra responsive gaming keyboard, and it's ultra immersive. You've seen the upward firing speakers, and all of this with 12 hours of battery life. Today, together with AMD, I'm incredibly excited to announce the ultimate AMD gaming laptop, the new Razer Blade 14. Now, at this point of time, you want to know the price, you want to know availability. Well, I'm sure with a product like that, you're probably quaking inside thinking, is this going to be a $5,000 laptop? It's got all the insane features. It's got the most powerful CPUs and GPUs, right? Is this going to be a $3,000 laptop? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the new Razer Blade 14 starts at just $1,799. When is it available? Well, not in 10 years from now. It's available right now today. By the end of this keynote, you can order it. And where can you order it? Well, you can order it online at Razer.com or at any of our global Razer stores. You can check them out. And of course, at leading retailers globally, you can check it out right away today at just starting from $1,799. Ladies and gentlemen, the new Razer Blade 14. the ultimate AMD gaming laptop. So that's the first product that we've got today. And we've still got a big show ahead. So what's next? Insanely small, insanely powerful. And what am I talking about? Well, it's our all-new USB-C 130-watt GAN charger. 10 years ago, when we first launched the Razer Blade, one of the big innovations that we did was we went and redesigned the charger. 10 years later, we're now really pushing the limits of what we can do with power. So here is a traditional power brick. It's shipped in many of the other gaming laptops out there. Not a Razer laptop, but this is often in many of the other gaming laptops. This is 130-watt size of a power brick, all right? It's almost 3 inches tall. It's got about 6 inches wide. How big is the new Razer GAN charger? Or how much smaller is it? It's up to 59% smaller. It's so tiny, it can fit in your pocket. And it's not just smaller, it's also up to about 17% shorter. It's an incredibly, incredibly small charger. So I thought you guys would like to see how small or how large the chargers are. This is a traditional 130-watt power brick. It's pretty big, it's pretty heavy. It's something that will ship with your traditional luggable kind of laptop. So how small is the Razer GAN charger? Boom, it's just hiding behind it. It's just so tiny. The same amount of power that it's packing from 130 watt, and this is a 130 watt charger. And this is already considered one of the smaller 130 watt chargers out there. You can see how tiny, how small it is, but we've got another surprise for all of you. This charger can only do one thing. It charges your 130 watt laptop or gaming laptop. This charger doesn't just charge your laptop. Boom, it charges up to 4 devices simultaneously. That's how powerful, that's how insane this product is. This is the Razer GAN charger, USB-C 130 watts of power, truly compact power. Here's the side profile. Here's the front profile. You can see the 4 ports, 2 USB-Cs and 2 USB-As, truly compact power. And here's a perspective shot. Truly, we've designed this so that this is the perfect charger that you can buy. It allows you faster charging up to 4 devices. It's mobile and travel ready with global adapter plugs. And in summary, it's small enough to fit your pocket. Charge up to 4 devices at once. Faster charging, 2 times USB-A, 2 times USB-C, mobile and travel ready. And it's got safer power delivery features. Now, what does it work with? Well, lots and lots of selected devices. As long as it's got USB-C and charging, it works with a whole slew of Razer Blade laptops, Apple MacBooks, both the Pro and the Air, Windows laptops like the Dell XPS, tablets, smartphones, smartwatches, and much more. So, is this $500? Is it $300? Well, absolutely not. The Razer GAN charger is just $179.99. You can pre-order it right now, and we're shipping within the next 30 days. And you can buy it, of course, at Razer.com, any of our Razer stores, and at leading retailers globally. This is the Razer 130-watt GAN charger, and you'll want to be making your pre-orders right now because this is truly the ultimate charger. Next up, Pixel Perfect. Well, a couple of years ago, we launched the Razer Raptor 27. What do we have with it? With the new Razer Raptor? Well, still a 27-inch form factor. It's got an IPS display. It's got a beautiful QHD resolution display. Now, what we've done is that we've upped the refresh rate from 144 Hertz from the previous generation to a faster 165 Hertz refresh rate. In addition, we've looked at how to ensure that there's tear-free adaptive sync. It's not just using NVIDIA G-Sync, but it's also compatible with AMD FreeSync Premium. And we've got one of the best display panels in the industry. It's got a 95% DCI P3 color space, HDR, high dynamic range display. And something I'm really proud of is that this is the world's first THX certified gaming monitor. And we've worked really closely together with THX, specifically with a gentleman, Eric Gemmer, who's got decades of experience in making sure that he certifies the very best displays in the market. And joining me on screen here today is Eric, talking a little bit about our partnership.
Hi there, I'm Eric Gemmer, THX's Director of Imaging Technologies. I'm pleased to announce that THX has certified its first ever gaming PC monitor, the newly refreshed Razer Raptor 27-inch. If you don't know, to become THX certified, a monitor like the Razer Raptor must pass 400 different tests run by the certification team and me. The THX certification process makes sure that the screen in question will perform remarkably well, and our testing process includes ensuring panels are lit consistently, colors are accurate, and the image is pristine and clear. The result is a stunningly good screen that is good for fast-paced gameplay and other challenging scenarios. More importantly, THX certification plus the Razer Raptor's fast refresh rate of 165 Hz and 1 millisecond response time means the screen will keep with your superhuman reflexes. If you're a creator, the THX certified screens, like the Raptor, have the added benefit of being a great option for color grading. If you've ever worked on an artistic endeavor and the colors you see look off compared to other screens, don't worry. THX's certified screens and our exacting attention to detail means the Razer Raptor 27 serves as a benchmark for color accuracy, so your next project will look true to your artistic vision. If the Razer Raptor is your main entertainment screen, you're in luck, because like all THX certified screens, the Razer Raptor 27 includes our renowned THX Cinema mode. When it comes time to enjoy your favorite blockbuster movie or TV shows, it'll look spectacular and pixel perfect by correcting for color, brightness, grayscale, and removing any excessive and unwanted video processing. Across the board, the Razer Raptor 27 is a superb entertainment screen, and we hope you enjoy the quality THX certification brings to the new Razer Raptor 27.
Thank you very much, Eric. So that's Eric, who's had decades and decades of experience in terms of making sure that the very best displays in the world are certified in accordance to THX's highest standards. And I'd like to talk a little bit about the new Razer Raptor 27. It's got a forged aluminum construction. It's got a beautiful construction. It's got a unique 90-degree tilt that you can flex it and have it positioned any way you like it. And it's got lots and lots and lots of ports. It's got a beautiful integrated cable management. It's truly unique. You can see it from the rear. And when you touch the back of the new Razer Raptor 27, it's got a beautiful textured fabric backing. Now, the display is optimized in terms of software. We've had optimized gaming modes, as well as immersive cinema modes that you can use. And over and above, of course, it's integrated with Razer Chroma RGB. So it fits the entire Chroma RGB family. With Chroma as the world's largest RGB platform, you can rest assured the new Razer Raptor will fit in terms of the entire desktop or battle station that you have. Now, one of the things that we've done to update the new Razer Raptor 27 is to include VESA compatibility. New Razer Raptor will allow you to use monitor arms with a VESA-compatible mount, and this is also backward compatible with the previous Razer Raptor 27. And of course, the mounts are sold separately, and I thought I'd share a little picture of how a triple-screen monitor might look on your desk, and it looks just beautiful. Now, at this point, I'm sure many of you guys would like to see a video that we've put together for the new Razer Raptor 27, and here you go. All right, so at this point of time, let's do a quick demo of the new Razer Raptor 27. Let's call up the Raptor 27. All right, here you go. It's got a beautiful, beautiful screen. It's forged out of aluminum. It's a beautiful monitor. Let's turn it around so people can see the integrated cable management. As you can see, it's got a truly unique cable management system. All right, let's turn it to the front again. And one of the things that we've updated, the new Raptor 27, is of course the VESA mount. And with the VESA mount, now you can have a triple screen monitor. There you go, boom. Display over here, right on your battle station. If you turn it around, you can see how it looks. It's truly, truly unique. And we're really excited to be able to present this here today, the new Razer Raptor 27. Thank you very much. So, in closing, it's got an ultra-fast display. We've upped it to 165 Hertz. It's a beautiful display. It's got adaptive sync. Bear in mind, it's got both G-Sync and AMD FreeSync Premium. It's the world's first THX certified monitor. And it's a VESA mount compatible, sold separately. And it's got this really clean, ultra clean cable management system. And lots of ports. So how much is the new Razer Raptor? Well, you can pre-order it right now at just $799, and we will be shipping within the next 30 days. And of course, like most Razer products, you can order it at Razer.com, Razer stores globally, and leading retailers. And also, you can order the new VESA mount, which is optional, at just $99, available today at Razer.com and at global Razer stores. Ladies and gentlemen, the new Razer Raptor 27, pixel perfect. So that's what we have today at our Razer keynote at E3. Remember to join us after this. We've got Razer Store Live. Every month we run this. We've got great new products that we announce. We've got giveaways, and we stream it live from one of our Razer stores somewhere in the world. But that's not all. We've got one more thing to share with everyone, and it's safe, social, and sustainable. And what am I talking about? Well, no other than Project Hazel. We announced this at CES earlier this year. And at CES, we had some truly, truly insane press coverage with everyone out there saying, when can I get a Project Hazel? Will you make it into reality? And it wasn't just the press. We had resounding response from the community, every single one asking us to make Project Hazel a reality. And many of you had great ideas for features to remove. We've heard your feedback. We continue to hear your feedback on Twitter, on Facebook. Ping us anytime, because we listen to all the feedback for gamers, by gamers. And what I thought I would do today is that I'd give everyone an update on the project, because we are going to be making Project Hazel a reality. So what kind of updates can we give? Well, when the pandemic first started, we converted one of our manufacturing facilities to make surgical masks. Today, we at Razer make high quality, certified surgical masks, and we ship them worldwide. We've donated over 1 million masks worldwide, in the US, in Europe, in Asia, in Africa, etc. And we continue to do that. High quality, surgical masks meeting the very best standards. And what we've done is that we've taken the learnings from that, the engineering, the design, and we've put that into Project Hazel. So Project Hazel is going to be using replaceable N95 grade filters. We've now designed in a secure silicon face seal. These are just some of the updates since the last time that we talked about this at CES. And we are going to make sure that Project Hazel follows the lab testing with BFE rating that we've done for our surgical masks. That's the safe aspect. Now, what about the social aspect? What are we keeping? What are we not keeping? Well, first up, the clear, transparent design. We're definitely keeping that. We're also adding in interior lighting so that in low light conditions, you can still see the face of the Project Hazel user. And one of the big things that we've added this time around is anti-fog coating. So we've got an anti-fog coating on the inside of the Project Hazel to ensure that the social function still remains even during use. Now, what about sustainability? Now, many of you will be aware, sustainability is at the core of what we do over here at Razer. We care a lot about the environment. One of the things that concerned us the most when we were making these one-off surgical masks was the sustainability of the surgical masks. Well, Project Hazel has got a reusable mask design, and every single filter lasts 3 times longer than single-use surgical masks. And what I'm really proud to say is that every filter uses 80% less material than traditional surgical masks. Now, I'm sure many of you are waiting to try out Project Hazel, and I'm going to talk about availability at the end of this. But if you can't wait to try Project Hazel out, we've got something really special for all of you. You can try the Project Hazel filter online and see how it looks on your face. You can check it out on Instagram, check out Razer, and here's a quick video to show how you can use the Project Hazel filter on Insta. Now remember to tag us with your Project Hazel filters because we will be watching out for all of you, and we might have some pretty cool giveaways for Project Hazel when the time comes for shipping. So we've got a quick video to show you the updates that we've made since the last time we announced this at CES. Here you go. So, I'm sure many of you are asking, when can I get one? When do they ship? Well, with the insane demand that we're expecting for Project Hazel, we've put together a plan so that we can get as many of these units out to you as possible. We're going to have limited quantities right from the get-go. So once we start manufacturing, we're going to be doing sale by drops. We'll have all the database of everybody who wants a Project Hazel, and we'll send you information once there are units available. And our first drop is going to be happening early Q4. We're still perfecting it. We're taking in all the beta feedback. You're going to see units out in the field, but the first drop is going to happen early Q4 once we've got most of the testing and certification done. And it's going to be available exclusively on Razer.com. And you can sign up now for all the information at rzr.to/project-hazel. So thank you very much for joining us here today at the Razer keynote at E3. I'll be seeing you guys soon. Goodbye.
And the Razer presentation is over. Laptops, monitors, and face masks. Oh my!
You want that Project Hazel? You getting into one of those?
Oh
props?
heck yeah! I thought it was one of their like April Fool's jokes things.
It's
I really didn't think that was going to be happening.
Well,
so
they underestimated all of our desires to be able to see each other's mouths while you actually talk to one another.
I ain't gonna lie. When it said it was see-through, I was like, but I wanted to hide my face.
Oh, I'll tell you, somebody hard of hearing, being able to read your lips is so clutch. Like it's.
Yeah. I mean, regardless, it's super cool. Okay, but we gotta talk about the Blade 14, $17.99.
Yeah, I know.
Need that kind of funny games money.
Well, first off, can it run TurboTax? All right, we heard. What did we hear about? It's got the RTX 3080 built in, right? AMD Ryzen 5900 HX processor. But can it run Minesweeper? Can it run TurboTax?
Minesweeper, I mean, that's the big question.
That's the big one right now.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this is absolutely lovely. I like feel uncomfortable touching it because I'm
How
just
light
like,
is it? Listen up.
All right.
Toss it off the side, see what happens.
Yeah, you want to catch? Just kidding. Come on. They would kick me out of here. I'd never come back. But it is really, really light and lots of ports.
So
I felt
many
like
ports.
I felt
Show
like I
them the
heard that a
ports,
lot.
yeah, when they were talking about all the USBs on the side.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie though, that is clutch.
Oh, yeah,
Because
totally.
I'm always like, oh man, I wish there was more ports whenever I have any
Oh, yeah.
laptop. So I'm here for it. But it is extremely light, and also the THX. Catch. THX spatial audio.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing.
100%. Yeah, you know, I give PC gaming a lot of trouble, but I do play that SWTOR. You know, that sweater out there, that Star Wars: The Old Republic, and yeah, I would like to take that on the road.
Wow. Okay, now
I'm a Sith, Taylor Sith, no big deal.
Wow,
It's true.
that
Look it up.
joke.
It's not a joke. That's literally my character.
Taylor Sith? Yeah. I absolutely love that, actually.
Thank you.
I would be a Sith, too. Did you see? Yesterday, I thought I had very Sith Lord vibes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about Capcom.
Sure, yeah, we got cut off. We were only in the Monster Hunter before, right?
Yeah, where to begin?
One more thing. I told you all. I was like, Capcom talked about what it was. Golden Boy over there. Oh, I want Lost Planet. Oh, I want this.
Yeah.
Like, they were very clear about what they were going to have, and that is what they had. They did not go beyond that.
Well, you know, we always think, hey, maybe they're going to sneak something in
course.
there. They 100% stuck to the agenda.